Welcome everyone. Welcome back to my channel. How are you doing? It is so good to be with you guys again. I know I've been away for a while. Sorry, life very busy. It's the summertime. Got to prepare for school for my son and him traveling back. So I wanted to spend as much time as possible with my son while I have him. And I just hope everything is going well with you all, right? I want to say sorry about the quality of my video. I have to use the camera on my laptop due to my camera been messing up frequently for the past, I think maybe 3 or 4 videos that I have given out on the channel, and also when I try to participate and support other people. So I am using the regular webcam that's on the laptop today. Hopefully it's okay with you guys. As you can see, I look completely the same because I'm not using fucking filters. But I appreciate all of you. Thank y'all so much. Thank y'all so much for coming in. And I do have 3 new cases that we can review with each other. Please go ahead and hit that like button for me or hit the down button. It doesn't matter. It helps the channel. I'll truly appreciate it anyway. And share this out to anyone who is interested in reviewing these type of cases. So let's see who has stopped into the building today. Soju, Signa, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for coming. He said, like me. How you doing, sir? Hey, Don, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everything is well with you, sir. Hope everything is well with you. Oh, there she is. How are you doing, sweetheart? Shell, it's good to see you. Good to see you. I missed you too. I missed you too. Hope everything is well with you, dear. Thank you so much for showing up and supporting. I appreciate you. Hey, Bridget, how are you? Good to see you again, ma'am. I hope everything is well with you. I hope your summer is going well and the family's well. Oh, Commander Zero, how are you? Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. This is my first time seeing you here. Hope everything is well with you, sir, and everything is going well with you and your family. Girl Dad, it's good to see you, sir. How are you? I hope everything is well with you and your family, your daughter, everything. I hope everything is good. Thank you so much for showing up, and I appreciate the support. Let's see. JJ London says, hi, where are you from in America? Hey, how are you doing, JJ? Thank you so much for coming. I truly appreciate you. I am North American. I am a New Yorker. I'm a New Yorker. Let's see. NBA Gaming. How are you doing? It's good to see you. First time seeing you here. Thank you so much for stopping by. Truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. And thank you, Bridget. Thank you. Again, please hit the like button for me. It helps the channel. I truly appreciate it. My mods truly appreciate it. The community on this channel truly appreciate it. So thank you so much. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much, William. I truly appreciate you. Truly appreciate you. Thank you so much for your compliment. Thank you. And welcome to the channel. Let's see. Noti says, normally I'm very lactose intolerant, but okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you're lactose intolerant, but shout out to you. Thank you for coming to the channel. Let's see. Talk TV. How are you? He says, how does one get rich? Let's see. How can I answer that question? I wouldn't necessarily get rich. I mean, do you want to be rich or do you want to just be stable, right? You know, rich people go through a lot of situations too. They're not all happy. But I'll find an answer for you, sir. Shout out to you. Hi, Jay, all day. How are you doing? Thank you for coming to the channel. Truly appreciate you. Hope you continue to stop by. And Monanette, hi, how are you? Welcome to the channel. This is the first time I'm seeing you. Good to see you. I hope everything's going well with you. Oh, okay. Thank you so much for letting me know. Miss Olivia, good to see you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you coming to the channel. All right, guys. So the first case that I have for you that we're going to go through is Rowdy. Oh, Lord have mercy. Hey, college football. What's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Is rowdy frat boys messing with the wrong freshmen? So I think an incident happened. We're going to go ahead and look through this. This came out, I think, about 8 days ago on one of my favorite channels that have these type of cases. Stay awake. If you like these cases, please follow those channels. They're truly great. They have really good video essaying commentary. So let me go ahead and pull my screen up and then we can go ahead and get into it, okay? All right, let's see. I hope you see this. Okay, and here we go.
On October 9th, 2015, at 1:20 a.m., students living in the Mountain View Hall dorms at Northern Arizona University were settling down after a night of partying. Suddenly, they heard screams coming from the parking lot. Just as they looked out their windows, they witnessed a gunman firing a barrage of bullets at several people. The Flagstaff Police Department was flooded with 911 calls.
There's a guy outside and he's shooting people. He's yelling right now. There's people on the ground.
Thank you so much for your compliment. Appreciate it.
Outside of Mountain View Hall. Someone needs to come right now.
The victims, NAU students Colin Brew and Nick Peary,
Hi,
were
25K.
critically
Good
injured.
to see you.
Several heroic bystanders, along with the gunman's friend Jack, rushed over.
Hold on one second, guys. Hold on. I don't know why it's starting to buffer now, but here we go.
The victims. As they were applying pressure to the victims' wounds, the gunman was shoved to the ground and attacked. In a panic, Jacob called 911.
911, where's your emergency? 911. 911.
Hi, Brandon. It's good to see you. Hope everything is well with you.
What's going on there?
Someone is attacking my friend.
Do they have any weapons?
How does him?
Do they have any weapons?
Yeah.
What kind of weapons?
I'm not sure. It's a gun.
It's a gun?
Are you okay?
Stay on the line.
More pressure. Put more pressure.
New York.
The call suddenly
Okay,
disconnected as Jacob attempted to protect his friend. Several more shots rang out, and another wave of 911 calls poured in.
I need an ambulance on Franklin Avenue. Like 3 boys just got shot.
The 3 boys?
Yeah, like something like that. My boyfriend's shot in the neck. One is shot in the abdomen. I need an ambulance.
I'm
I
doing
need an
great,
ambulance
Brandon.
right
Thank
now.
you so
My
much.
boyfriend's shot. Oh my God. Hi, I believe that there's a guy, he has a gun, and he just shot some people outside.
Why would I judge that, TK?
NAU,
Shout out
that
to South
Mountain View.
Africa.
Did he just run off?
3 shots, probably a minute break, and then 2 more shots. Can you see the shooter? No. And what does he look like?
I don't know. There's a bunch of people outside. I don't know who the shooter is.
Due to the poor lighting conditions in the parking lot, none of the callers were able to provide an accurate description of the suspect. A fleet of police cruisers stormed the Mountain View parking lot where they found 3 victims scattered on the ground. Kyle Zintek was shot twice in the back, Nick Peering was shot in the left arm and hip, and Colin Brew had been shot in the chest and the right shoulder and was unresponsive. Bystanders were still tending to their wounds, but since the police were uncertain who the shooter was, they were all ordered to get down on the ground.
This isn't us. This is the other guy.
Where's the other guy?
Get on the ground.
Get on the ground.
Everybody on the ground.
At the north end of the parking lot, another group of police cruisers arrived at the campus entrance where they encountered 18-year-old NAU freshman Stephen Jones and his friends. Stephen immediately told the officers that he was the shooter and he was promptly arrested.
Turn around. On the ground. On the ground.
Go help them.
Hold on. You do not move. Do not move.
Officer, please. Please, can you answer me? I'm going to be okay, please.
You're going to be fine for right now.
Please, I'm so sorry, please.
Hang on, buddy. Hang on.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
Hang on.
Oh, my God. Please, officer, please. Oh, my God. Oh, my mom. Oh, my God, please.
Hang on, sir. Hang on.
Although Stephen was visibly shaken up, he was clearly more concerned about the condition of the people he had just shot.
Please go help them, officer, please. Please. Please go help them. I'm so sorry, please. Please go help them.
Also, his behavior throughout his arrest resembled that of a scared child rather than a ruthless killer.
I'm so scared of my mom.
Stand up. Where's the firearm?
It's over there by the guy with the flannel and the beard. Please, officer, I'm so scared. Please help me.
Hey, flannel. Hang on. Hey, one of you, flannel and beard, there's a gun over there. Stand up for me.
I can't.
Roll over, stand up. Spread your feet. Spread your feet more. Stephen, come on.
Oh my God, please help me. I'm so scared. I can't. I'm sorry, I can't.
Have a seat.
I'm gonna go back. Oh my God.
Just have a seat.
I can't be
Have a
alone,
seat.
please.
Have a seat.
Once Stephen was left alone in the cruiser, he was flooded with emotions and his scared demeanor turned into a full-on meltdown.
So obviously, y'all see there's a lot going on in this video, right? I'm still trying to figure out and put together why did he end up shooting these 3 men for? What was the reason for shooting them? And he stayed on the scene. He obviously got caught by the officers. He's doing all this performance like, oh my God, and he's so hysterical. He doesn't know what he did and he want his mom. So I think, reality set in real quick that he actually committed a crime. So I would want to know what his true intentions was. Was they trying to jump him? Because then that can lead into a self-defense case. And that could be a possibility, right? That 3 guys tried to assault him and then he pulled out his weapon and he had to shoot. He had no choice to shoot. Or did he know these guys and he just randomly just start shooting them over a dispute, something with a girlfriend, something to have to do with drugs, you name it. There's so many different things that could have happened why he shot these individuals and where he shot them in that parking lot. But the whole, just being very hysterical and I guess, maybe he could feel guilty. Maybe he can't. Maybe that could be part of his, facade that he's putting on, that he's grieving that he did what he did. But I'm really still trying to figure out, why did you shoot these individuals? And why did you shoot them the way that they did? The way he shot one in the leg, he shot the other one in the head, he shot the other one it was just, It didn't seem very random. But let's go on.
My friend, why were you trying to hurt me? Why?
Around this time, a random woman came running up to one of the officers from across the street. She told the officer that there was another victim. Apparently, during the second round of gunshots, another student named Nick Prado was struck in the neck. He immediately fled the scene, running across the street to 262 East Franklin Avenue, aka the Courtyard. The officer followed her back to the apartment and saw Nick Prado lying on the ground while other students pressed a towel against his neck to manage the bleeding. While waiting for the EMTs to arrive, the officers continued securing the crime scene. With the shooter now in custody, the officers decided to check the surrounding area for any possible threats.
We need to confirm that one shooter is our only shooter.
They swiftly evacuated Mountain View Hall and cleared the building room by room. Back outside, the paramedics had finally arrived on the scene. The victims were loaded into the ambulances and taken to the Flagstaff Medical Center for emergency surgery. Meanwhile, the officers headed back to the cruiser to touch base with Stephen, who had calmed down a bit since the last time we saw him.
You identified yourself to me as the shooter.
Nobody else, none of my friends.
There's nobody else involved.
No, nobody but me. I take all the responsibility. Oh my God.
Do you got a wrench?
Hang, I don't know.
You got a wrench. I'm gonna give you a wrench.
I know that's
If you see anything disrespectful, just block them on site. Just block them from the
we'll call your mom for you. We'll just get out first, okay?
This was 2019.
Stephen was unable to call his mom until after he was processed at the police station. During the call, his mother sharply advised him not to say anything until he could speak with his father. The call ended, and he was quickly led to the interrogation room.
You can just have a seat over there in that chair.
Can you put my hair on my face, please?
Yeah.
Thank you.
There you are.
He appeared to be more composed now, but panic set in once again when he noticed blood on his hands.
Okay. So what we're going to do, we're just going to put them on top. So just, that's fine. That's fine, Stephen. Put your hands together like this. There you go. Perfect.
There you go, sweetheart. I gave it to you.
So just have a seat, okay?
Stephen eventually calmed down again, but as he quietly waited for the detective, his thoughts began to spiral.
You're not going to die, no.
Both panic attacks and catastrophization can be telltale signs of trauma. But without a direct assessment from an expert, it's hard to say whether Stephen is genuinely shattered by the events that occurred, or if this is all an act to deceive the authorities. The detective entered the room just minutes later.
What happened today?
Although he initially followed his mother's advice, he quickly folded and told his side of the story from the very beginning. It was a typical Friday night, partying and playing some Guitar Hero at an apartment complex called The Grove.
Did you guys imbibe on any alcoholic beverages?
The girls were, they had beers. I had a sip of my friend's beer, but I knew I was driving and I couldn't afford to.
Sober Stephen quick got bored, and after about a half hour, he and his friends Jacob, Shay, and Hunter decided to head back to the campus where his car was parked. However, Hunter was walking ahead of the group, and about halfway to their destination, they could no longer see him. Confused about Hunter's whereabouts, they noticed that there was a party happening across the street from the campus at a place called the Courtyard. Some important context about the Courtyard is that it is the home of the Delta Chi fraternity. The 4 victims were all members of Delta Chi. Delta Chi parties have a reputation of frequently getting out of hand. Fights would often break out. And it wasn't uncommon for the police to step in.
9 in the morning, and I can hear your music from at least a block away.
Okay, with this newfound information, 2 things come to mind to me. Is either was a fraternity rivalry, right? If he's not a part of that fraternity, maybe he's from a rival fraternity, or he was trying to get into that fraternity. Something happened due the initiation process or some form of hazing. He probably wasn't accepted, and he could potentially, be looking to take revenge. Now that understanding that every single victim that was shot by him was from the same fraternity. And like I said, it did seem very strategic how he shot these particular individuals. They were all grouped up together. They were all hanging at hanging at the same spot, so he knew where they were. So now it's starting to come together what a tent of a motive of why he probably shot these individuals. My thing is, why did you even have a gun with you if you're going out? I guess on campus grounds, you're gonna know everyone that's going to be there, or majority of everyone is going to be there because they all go to the same school. So there wasn't really no real reason to bring a weapon. You brought a weapon because you intended to use the weapon, and that is what the prosecutors is going to have to find out. That the intent was you brung it to the scene of the party because you probably wanted to hurt or harm these individuals, and it's not self-defense. Because like I said, that would be the best bet for him, is to go for a self-defense claim due to the fact that he was already outnumbered 3-1. I don't know exactly what state this is, but I'm sure he probably was able to carry a weapon. But let's go on. Yes, guns are dangerous. Guns are very, very dangerous. Very dangerous. Yeah. Red Star said a lot of these dudes are competing for and steal each other's girls. Adding Popper. You know what, Red Star, you're probably right. You're probably right. Like, it could be a lot of things combined. Social norms in college is quite different. It could be about a girl. It could be about rivalry, sports rivalry, team rivalry, college rivalry. There's so many different elements now by understanding who the individuals are, realizing that a fraternity is involved, and they have many reports about this fraternity's parties getting carried away, where they're destroying property, whether it's inside the fraternity house or dorm or the college campus. They have a history of, people or individuals doing things that they shouldn't be doing. So I think more details will fall out in reference of how did this play out. Rose said, yes, sister, I believe you say arriving or revenge is possible. Yeah, I believe that. I could be wrong. Premeditated. Yeah, that's what they're going to try to figure out, if it's premeditated. I mean, they obviously know that he did shoot these individuals, right? But now to find out whether if it's a self-defense or was this done on purpose or intentionally, we'll see. Hey, Brucey, how you doing? It's good to see you. Good to see you. How are you, sir? Hope your ankle is doing well. I hope your dog is doing well. I hope everybody's doing well, sir. I hope everyone's doing well. Hi, Brian. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I think this is the first time I've seen you here. Appreciate it. Let's go on.
However, Stephen and his friends were just freshmen who had only been at NAU for a few weeks. They had also recently pledged to a different fraternity known as Sigma Chi, unaware that the courtyard was the home of Delta Chi, a potentially unwelcoming brotherhood. They decided to knock on the door to see if Hunter was there.
Center, 12 dudes came out. And they started like, what are you talking about? Get the off our porch. And then we just decided to turn around and walk away.
Despite walking away from the conflict, the Delta Chi fraternity brothers wouldn't let up, especially Colin Brew, who was being extremely antagonistic.
What were they saying?
I'm going to kill you, but you couldn't fight to go back to the freshman dorm. They were obviously very drunk.
Very drunk is an understatement. A medical report would later reveal that Colin's blood alcohol was at 0.28%, 3.5 times the legal limit, and just a few decimal points away from alcohol poisoning. The Delta Chi boys continued to advance towards the freshmen, following them into the middle of the street. Then, out of nowhere, someone ran up and sucker punched Stephen.
Oh no! What happened?
I had no idea what was going on. My glasses fell off. I could barely see.
After regaining his footing, the Delta Chi boys followed him as he retreated back to his car. Although he was able to unlock the doors with his fob, he was unable to find his keys to start the car. He began to panic as they got closer, so he grabbed the pistol from his glove box and pointed it at them as he exited the vehicle.
I said, I have a gun, don't move. And then...
And they said, I'm gonna kill you. And two of them ran at me as fast as they could. He was running at me. He was staring right at me. He was saying he was going to kill me. I was afraid for my life.
While many argue that firearms shouldn't be allowed on campus, Arizona law states that it is legal as long as the firearm is locked in your car and out of sight. Stephen said that after defending himself from Colin and Nick, the rest of the fraternity jumped him, which would explain the several injuries on his face. Stephen then claimed that while being battered on the ground, he decided that the only way to escape this situation without shooting anybody else would be to scare them away.
I grabbed my gun and I just put it in the air. I wasn't trying to hurt anybody. I wasn't even aiming at anybody.
How many rounds did you fire?
I don't know. I just remembered my training. My dad trained me.
It turns out that Stephen's father was an NRA certified firearm instructor, so he was well versed in firearm safety and handling, including self-defense situations.
Oh no, Bruce.
I was trained to fire until it's not necessary to anymore.
At this point, the detective momentarily left the room, and when he came back, he updated Stephen on his alleged attackers.
3 people in the hospital. 1 has passed away.
All right, so for as much information that I'm getting for this guy, I think there's some bits of truth in it. I don't necessarily believe everything that he say, and I'll explain why, right? If you said that they were following you to the car, I get it. They're following you to the car. They're saying, F you, we're going to F you up. We're going to jump you. You from a different fraternity. They have a lot of alcohol in the system. So, they're rowdy at this point. I totally understand. You could have hopped in your car and you could have drove away. You didn't hop in your car and drove away. In fact, you got in your car, you went to the glove department, you got the weapon, and then you ended up shooting them. Then when more people hear that they're on the ground being shot, they run over and now they're trying to restrain you because you have a weapon and you just shot 3 people. Then you decided to shoot in the air to get everybody away because at this time you're frantic and you think that you're going to be ganged up on by a mob who is obviously really upset and really angry because fellow friends have just been shot on the floor. So I can't, like I said, I understand his situation. To that point, but I don't know. I do believe that he's leaving out a little information to make him seem like he was just only completely a victim in this whole situation. These kids are freshmen. They haven't even been in the school for a whole full semester yet. Not even a whole full year. So that means that they're pretty much pledges. They're pledges for this fraternity. They're not really even in yet, right? So it's like, I don't really see them unless that's a part of their, ritual to get initiated into the fraternity to go jump somebody from the rivalry fraternity. I don't really necessarily see them doing that. So you seem like you're older than these young men, right? You're older than them. You've been in college for a little bit longer. My thing is, if you know that there's rival intention, why were you anywhere near that frat house? Come to think of it, are you the one who had to do this initiation ritual and show that you're tough and go to another fraternity, a dorm, and pretty much, say stuff and get in a fight with them or something like that? Was that, like, I would want to know that. That could be a possibility. We'll see. We'll definitely see. Let's see. Restar said, I used to do cable around a prominent university in my city, and I've seen garbage cans full of nitrous poppers after parties. Many of these Dwight Rich's students are brain fried. A lot of kids are poppers these days. It's a culture of doing drugs and not being able to deal with reality. Miss Jalen said, I don't have my specs on. Oh, okay. What you cooking? I need some food. Hey, Happy Life, how are you doing? Good to see you. I hope everything is going well with you. I hope everything's going well with you. Okay, so you know what I said. That's why you thought that you can correct me, but have a good day, okay? Let's see. Hi, Sherelle. How are you? It's good to see you. I hope everything is well with you, dear. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Let's see. Did he know what happened? He's actually the shooter, Happy Life. He's the one who pulled the trigger on 3 other students, and they were from a different fraternity than him. And he said that they was following him to his vehicle. That's why he went and got the weapon. He told them to step back. They said they was going to mess him up. He ends up shooting them. I guess the neighbor, the other fellow friends that was at the party heard the gunshots, came outside, seen the 3 individuals on the ground bleeding. They tried to surround him and get the gun from him, fearing that he was going to get mobbed by these other, partiers. He's shot in the air. So that's why there is actually another victim. So it was 3 people that he deliberately hit with the gun, and it was another victim that got hit by him shooting in the air. That's just sad. Hi, Lit. How are you? Hi, Gary. How are you doing? Happy Life said, "Oh wow, then in this case, he needs to be arrested." Well, right now he's being investigated. They wanted to get his whole story. He said that he was going to wait until his father came. But obviously, if he's full of emotions and he felt that he didn't do anything wrong, he's going to feel a little bit more comfortable to explain his side or explain it from his point of view to the detectives. But we always preach this here. It doesn't even matter if you are in the right or if you are wrong. Do not speak to the detectives. They're not your friends. I don't know. I'll continue to say this until I don't have any air in my body anymore. These detectives are not your friends. They're here to get all the facts and evidence and present it to the prosecutor, and the prosecutor will go ahead and decide what charges, if they can even apply any charges to this situation. That is all. That is their job. They're not here to be your friends. They're not here to understand. They're not here to be their emotional support that you need. This is not what these detectives are. Even if they lie or pretend or show up to the interview as they're trying to do that, okay? Let's see. Yes, please go ahead and like and share. Truly appreciate it. Thank you so much, Brucey. And hi, Lucky. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything's going well with you this Saturday. So let's go on. Let's hear a little bit more information.
Nick Peering and Nick Prado eventually had a full recovery. It turns out that the bullet that struck Nick Prado's neck had shattered the chain of his necklace and dented the tiny heart-shaped cremation pendant that hung from it, which contained his grandfather's ashes. The bullet ended up slicing through his neck less than 1/10 of an inch from his aorta, the largest artery in the human body. Nick's parents believed that this was a case of divine intervention, and his grandfather saved his life. As for Kyle Zintek, he ultimately lost a kidney and suffered significant liver damage. Tragically, Colin Brew had succumbed to his gunshot wounds and was pronounced dead. Following his interview, Stephen's injuries were photographed. His lips were cut up and his head was scraped and bruised. Also, when they took his clothes as evidence, they noticed that he had many more small injuries all over his body. He was given a white jumpsuit, but was later upgraded to a blue jail suit. He was charged with first-degree murder and 3 counts of aggravated assault. While Stephen sat behind bars, the students at NAU were just starting to process what had happened. Their lives had been changed forever.
Our hearts are hurting because none of them deserved it.
So I want to start here. There has to be a real reason or some severe evidence that let the prosecutor charge this young man with first-degree murder. That means that it was proven that it was premeditated. That means that he had every intention of going over there to start with these group of guys from the opposite fraternity, and he came with the weapon in his car because he knew that they were partying. He knew that they had alcohol in his system. He knew that he was going to ruffle some feathers, trigger them, and he pretty much lured them so they can get ambush with him with a weapon. They had to find some evidence that let them know that it was premeditated, whether if it was speaking to other people that was a part of the fraternity, who was surrounding witnesses who saw how the commotion started, whether somebody witnessed that these guys, as soon as he pulled out the weapon, these guys were trying to run away. They weren't even trying to approach him anymore. It has to be some evidence as into why the prosecutors said, we're going with first degree, and I think that we can get first degree. Okay, let's see. Oh, yes, no problem, Brucey. I will give you your wrench back. Give me 1 second, because you had to change your channel. Miss Janice, oh, black bean, rice, roasted chicken. Okay, so frito. I hear you. Innocent until proven guilty. Yeah. Oh, Lord. How you doing, Miss Cunty? How you doing? All right, so let's go on. Let's see why they gave him first degree. What evidence that they was able to present?
And none of them wanted to put anyone in danger.
In the evening, a student vigil was held where Collins peers and Delta Chi brothers mourned their loss.
He's in the center of the hug because he's still alive. He's one of the victims of the NAU shootings. And as his friends try to hold him close, it hurts. His wound still so fresh. And while there is a bandage for the body, there isn't one for what so many students here are suffering. If ever a brotherhood has been needed, it's right now.
At his arraignment hearing, Stephen pled not guilty, and his bond was set at $2 million. But to everyone's surprise, after 6 months in the Coconino County Jail, Stephen was granted pretrial release and was allowed to stay with his parents under strict conditions including 24/7 GPS monitoring. It seemed that the defense had presented some hard evidence suggesting that Stephen was not a danger to the public. But the choice to release Stephen was deeply troubling to the families of the victims. If the defense could convince the judge to set Stephen free, could they convince the jury to do the same? On April 17th, 2017, a year and a half after the shooting, Stephen's trial began. County Attorney Ammon Barker delivered the prosecution's opening statement.
The defendant, Stephen Jones, murdered a young man and seriously.
So, but before we get to the opening statements of the prosecutor and probably the opening statements of the DA, one thing I want to say, they probably allow him to go home because he's not a flight risk. I even thought that them giving him a $2 million bond was kind of ridiculous. You know, I don't know. I don't even understand why they even gave him that high of a bond, really. It just seemed like they just threw it out there just to make sure that they can hold him in jail for a certain amount of time. But they eventually let him go. But let's see what the prosecutors have to say. Let's see what they have to say.
Injured 3 others because his pride was hurt. Now, before this night, none of these victims knew the defendant, never associated with him, didn't know him to like him or dislike him. But that night, to the victims, the defendant was an assassin emerging from the darkness, and they had no chance to protect themselves before the defendant unloaded 10 rounds from his gun and changed their lives forever. All this because the defendant wanted payback. This case is not a whodunit. There's no mystery to who killed Colin Brew, who shot Nick Peering, Nick Prado, or Kyle Zenteg. The defendant did. The question for you during this trial will be, what was the defendant's intent when he shot these 4 unarmed victims? This was aggravated assault, and it was premeditated murder. At the end of this case, the state will ask you to hold him accountable for what he's done. For the murder of Colin Brew and for the shooting of Nick Peering, Nick Prado, and Kyle Zenteg,
I can understand
and find him guilty on all charges.
During the defense's opening statement, they backed up Stephen's story from his interrogation, saying that the shooting was justified because it was purely an act of self-defense.
When you hear this case, you will find that this is not a case about an assassin emerging from the dark on a rampage. It's not even close. This is a case about an 18-year-old kid who was just a couple weeks into his college career, a freshman at NAU. And he found himself in a situation where he was surrounded, bullied, threatened, and attacked, and did what he had to do to protect himself.
Throughout the trial, a total of 35 witnesses took the stand. Using bits and pieces of their testimonies, our team has edited together a concise and comprehensive retelling of that horrible night. It combines the perspectives of the bystanders, Delta Chi fraternity members, and Sigma Chi pledges, including Stephen himself. We will start from the moment that Stephen, Jacob, Shay, and Hunter leave the apartments at the Grove and head back to Stephen's car.
I heard the door behind us open, and out came like 6 or 7 guys, I believe, and they were shouting at us.
Too, Bridget. I do too.
Trying to intimidate, like,
Correct, Rick. Exactly.
It's really hard.
You haven't had that happen?
Not at all.
Physically or verbally? Okay.
No. Yeah, I'm glad. And as I was I tried to grab my back of my shirt. I started moving.
As he ran back his car, 3 or 4 people chased down, while the other Delta Chi members surrounded Jacob and Shay, shoving them to the ground.
I thought they did really bad.
He got to the vehicle, using his keys, and began to panic. I have to do something.
Oh, it is? I'm sorry about that. I'll see if I can fix it on my side.
I could. Happening to City Hall with the flashlight around his face. One of the 2 men looked like he lunged towards Stephen, and then I heard gunshots. The first person who shot twice fell like a rock. I sprinted and jumped over the bushes that you had pointed out. And that's when I saw Nick wearing midair and fall to the ground.
Like he scored, one of the students looking out of the dorm windows also saw the shooting and ran to the victims to give first aid.
Yeah.
So it does seem like a lot of things that the shooter said, it seemed that some of it was left out. As of yet, I have not heard about the real commotion that led to the gun actually coming out. They haven't even stated, neither of these students who were witnesses or who was there, they haven't stated that they heard a big commotion. They haven't said that anyone was physical prior to the weapon coming out. They haven't even said that the group of guys was actually following this guy to the car. Now, I don't know if they have surveillance. It is a parking lot, so they should have cameras that can show that these guys did follow him to the car, right? But there's certain things that is not really adding up. She's this woman right here, she said that she went down there and she went to try to assist. One other witness said that they saw one of the guys get shot in midair. So he wasn't actually like attacking the individual. It's a lot of things that play by here. And like I said, I do believe that the prosecutor do have evidence, and probably with these witnesses, these eyewitnesses, that can confirm that there was a point where he wasn't in danger. He wasn't in danger of his life. He was the threat, or he was the instigator. That's probably what what led them to go with first degree. Now, when we continue on, I'll see whether or not if he does get first degree. I'm not too sure that he's going to get first degree this time. I think that he might get second degree, but we'll see. Hey, how are you, Sean? How are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for stopping by. I hope everything is well with you. I hope everything is well. Bridget said we didn't hear any of what was just playing. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I don't know why I'm having technical difficulties. I literally recharge everything, refresh everything. I'm not understanding why this happens. So just bear with me, guys, until I actually figure this out. All right, let's go on.
Palms and his gunshot wounds. Told him to stay calm and told him to calm down. He was me crying.
I ran toward Colin.
Why did you run?
Because my friend was in trouble.
And what did you see when you got there?
He was on his back. His shirt was covered in blood. His eyes were wide open. He was looking up at the sky.
I'm afraid certified, so I went over to try to treat his wounds.
I believe I chopped him when he went down, so I could potentially try to get the gun out of the back pocket.
All the rest of them kind of just piled on top of me, punching me in a way when I was stuck on my stomach. They were screaming, "You shot my friend, you fucking psycho. I'll fuck you up. I'll kill you."
You said it's buffering bad? Is buffering bad? Okay, so let me refresh it and see if that helps. Hold on 1 second.
He was on his back. His shirt was covered in blood. His eyes were open. He was looking up at the sky.
I'm first aid certified, so I went over to try to treat his wounds.
I believe I tried to get on top of him when he was knelt down, so I could potentially try to get the gun out of the back pocket.
All the rest of them kind of just piled on top of me, kicking him.
Is it real bad? Like real bad? Because on my side, it's playing fine. On my side, it's playing fine, but for you, it's not playing fine. Let's see. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. Let me see what is going on here. I don't know why, because like on my side, it's playing just fine. I don't know why it's not playing fine for you guys. They're, hold on. Led them to go with first degree. Hold on.
Punching and wailing, and one guy was stomping, and they were screaming, "You shot my friend, you fucking psycho. I'll fuck you up, I'll fucking kill you, I was screaming as loud as I could, help, like.
Yeah, I don't know why it's happening. But right now I'll just go until I'm gonna let it pause for a little bit and see if it will work better. But what's the witness, or this is not the witness, this is actually the suspect. He's telling his side of the story to the jury, right? And then he's also stating that he is EMT certified. So he went to go, I guess, assist for help. But I just find it weird. Again, why was you there at their frat party knowing that you are rivals, right? You know that you're rival. You know that these guys are pledging. There should not be no reason why you're there, right? That would have diffused the whole situation. Y'all can keep your rivalry on the field depending on what sport you play, but there was no reason for you to be there. And then I always have to go with the fact you had the weapon already ready for you. And I thought it was very strategic where you parked your car. Your car wasn't like right across the street from the party, because you actually wanted to go to the party and you felt that you could leave fraternity rivalry on the field, but we could all enjoy each other as colleagues, you know what I'm saying? Like as collegiate students of the same school. You parked your car in a parking lot that seemed like maybe is a block or maybe 2 blocks away from the actual fraternity party. That these guys had to literally follow you to your car. And then the way that how your car was positioned, because y'all saw it, the way how his car was positioned, you was the only one in that parking lot. There was no one else in that parking lot. So that's why I say certain things is very strategic of how he had everything set up. And to me, it doesn't really read self-defense. However, I'm not going to say that it's first degree murder. I'm not believing that it's first degree murder with him. I'm believing that it was possibly second degree murder, right? He did start it, he did instigate it, and it just went left. And when he got scared from instigating the situation, he pulled the trigger. So I'm going with second degree. That's what I'm going with. But we'll see what he actually get charged with. Hopefully the video wants to work for me, but we'll see. We'll see.
A really high, loud scream. Like, I thought they were going to get my gun and kill me with it.
According to Steven, that's when he pulled the gun out of his back pocket and shot into the air, hoping to scare his attackers away.
And then there was another round of gunshots, and then I put my body on top of Nick's.
That was pretty brave, Mikey. What was going through your head?
To be entirely honest, I was preparing for a bullet to go through my back. My head.
I got shot through the neck. It's the most intense pain you've ever felt.
So that's one of the victims right there.
Pressure-wise, sharpness, but at the same time, the adrenaline and the shock kick in, and you're so amped up that it's almost like numbed, like someone has an ice pack on the wound, but you just got hit with a sledgehammer.
Went around to run, just felt something. I dropped to the ground. It was the most painful thing, but I didn't feel a thing. I just couldn't move.
Following the second round of gunshots, everybody scattered, and police arrived shortly after.
I was really relieved. I thought, we got him safe now. Like the cops are here. I can just go to them and it's all over. It's perfect. They can protect me.
What's the next thing that you remember after that?
Waking up in the hospital. I was shot twice in the back. I lost a kidney. I had to have some part of my intestines removed and a ostomy back on. I had a
Hold on one second. It's buffering. Don't know why. It's more than enough for it to not buff.
believe a broken rib, a tube up my nose and down my throat.
It's natural for emotional testimonies like these to evoke a visceral reaction, but it's important to not let this reaction skew your judgment. Looking at the evidence objectively, there are clearly some inconsistencies that need to be addressed. For example, once Steven got back to his car, he made several drastic decisions that escalated the situation, even though there were safer options.
Talk about some of the things you could have done that night. Could have called the police, right?
I didn't think I could have.
You could have locked the door of your car.
I couldn't have.
You couldn't have locked the door of your car. You didn't have the ability to lock the door inside your car.
I didn't think I could have.
As you sit here today, you know you could have, right?
I think I probably could have.
You could have armed yourself and then got her. And when you discovered that nobody was around you, you could have just stayed there, right?
I couldn't just abandon my friends.
Also, Steven claims that the Delta Chi members chased him back, and he only grabbed his gun because they were closing in on him.
The two guys I mentioned.
See, this is why I knew that the prosecutors had the right to say first degree murder, because He told them initially that these guys chased him to his vehicle, and that was the only reason why he had to go get the gun for self-defense. Now he's speaking with the prosecutor while he's on, while he's on trial, and now he's saying that he couldn't leave his friends. So were you the one that they were actually going after, or was it a big commotion between both fraternities? Your frat brothers was also involved. Y'all got into a argument, y'all was fighting with each other, and you went and got the strap. Because that's what it seems like, what happened to me. You went to your car that was like a block or 2 blocks away. You seen that you was probably losing the situation, or you was outnumbered, outmanned, because you was at somebody else's fraternity, and you went and got a weapon. Now you're saying that you couldn't leave your friends behind. You could have got your friends without going to get the weapon, right? If you wanted to, help your friends and make sure they get out of this and it didn't go escalate, even more, right? You don't go run to the car to go get a weapon. You go and get your friends and tell them, let's get the hell up out of here, right? But that's not what you did. You went back and got a weapon, and you brought a weapon to this quote unquote fist fight. That's what you did. And that's what we're showing right now. He lied. He lied about them following him. They didn't follow him. He ran back and got a weapon and brung a gun to a fist fight. Let's go on.
Where?
Out the driver's side door.
How far away?
At the time, it seemed like 10 or 15 feet.
However, it turned out that the distance between them was much further than 15 feet.
How much space was there in actuality?
I learned it was 90 feet later.
Okay, so you were just dead wrong on that.
I suppose so, yes.
This meant that not only were the Deltas nowhere near Stephen's car, but after grabbing his gun, he must have walked that entire distance back towards them before he was in any imminent danger. The prosecution believed that this was just one of many examples of Stephen allowing his paranoia to get the better of him, causing him to believe that he was in more danger than he actually was. After all, many of the details that Stephen shared seemed to directly contradict other witness testimonies.
In the very, very beginning, when they all came out of the house, someone was holding a beer bottle, and I thought I saw swinging it, or it might have been a rock or something.
Anyone carrying a weapon?
No, not that I know of.
Did you see anybody with any weapons?
No.
Did you see anybody with any weapons?
No, I did not.
The one on the right says, "I'm gonna fucking kill you."
At any point did you hear someone say, "I'm gonna kill you"?
I did not.
Or hurt you?
I did not.
Did you hear the word kill, or anybody threaten to kill anybody?
I do not recall.
Did you hear anything about killing anyone or harming anybody?
No, sir, I never heard that.
I just freaked out, and I thought to myself, "Oh my God, I need to get my gun."
A gun wasn't necessary.
I thought it was a hostile situation, but there was no point where I thought I was in any situation where my life was at stake.
Another main point of contention was whether or not Stephen shot in the air being attacked by the Delta Chi members, accidentally shooting Nick Prado in Zintech.
All the rest of them kind of just piled on top of me.
The prosecution believed that Stephen was never attacked by a group of people at all, and that he took aim at Nick and Kyle in cold blood.
How did you point your hand?
Upward.
Can you demonstrate?
Hi, Barry. Hi, good to see you.
Just
Yes, we
not fully
heard that they allow firearms on campus. Yeah.
How do you count for how he got shot through the neck?
I have no idea.
Or Kyle Zentek in the back?
I didn't know at the time.
You would agree that's not shoot to the air, right?
What isn't?
When you shoot someone in the back, that's not shooting in the air?
Even Stephen's friend, Jacob Mike, to be Stephen at the time, claimed that he never saw a group of people gang up on Stephen at any point.
So not you also getting ratted out by your own best friend who was right there, that nobody ganged up on you. Nobody ganged up on you. Nobody threatened that they were going to kill you or anything of that matter. It was just a commotion. It was something that could have led to maybe a fist fight, but there was no reason for a gun to get involved in the whole thing at all. You escalated the situation by going to go get a gun. And it's been confirmed that you walked back, like I said, you walked back a block towards where the actual party was with the weapon. So this is why the prosecutor went with first-degree murder. You had every intention of shooting these individuals. And again, you're now stating that you shot in the air and you didn't mean to hit anybody, but where these individuals was hit, you was directly pointing the gun at them, not in the air. It's crazy. Barry said he had already been attacked. Of course, you go and grab your firearm. Right. When I was in school, we had hunter safety course in the school gym. Had a rifleman in the back window of my truck. Oh, wow. See, he's already getting caught in his lies, and that's why I said that self-defense wasn't going to work. He could have literally left the scene. He could have grabbed his friends, got in a car that was parked a block away, and left the scene. You brung it into a gunfight, an unfair fight where you knew nobody else had a gun. Nobody else had a gun. Barry said, but I do think since his dad was such a gun enthusiast that his son wanted to use that firearm, and it was a perfect situation for him to do so. He was wanting to make dad proud. There could be a possibility. I do think that because he has training with his dad and he's probably grown up using guns and understanding them and how to shoot them and stuff, this was the perfect situation where he felt that he can protect himself and use a gun, right? Because, I don't know, maybe he was assaulted, but, during the fight or whatever debacle that they had at the party. But the self-defense claim is completely out the window now. It's completely out the window. All the witnesses confirm that these guys were not threatening you, saying, I'm going to kill you, right? They also confirmed that the guys were nowhere near you. Right? So that whole following you to your vehicle was a lie. You did not shoot in the air. You shot directly at particular individuals on purpose. One got shot in the neck. The other one got shot in the rib. The other one got shot here. So you was actually directly shooting at certain individuals. I mean, like I said, your friend, the guy here that's on the screen, he sealed the deal. He's the one who said nobody jumped you. Nobody jumped you. Nobody was in your face or trying to grab the weapon from you. You the one who pulled it out. Let's see. Hi, Hermine. How you doing? Hope everything is well with you. Bruce said he would obey the law. Yeah, his dad wouldn't approve of him taking a life. Only when warranted. Definitely.
At any point, did you ever see a group of people piling on the defendant?
No.
The defense, however, found it ridiculous that this was being questioned at all. How else would Stephen have gotten so many injuries all over his body? And to support Stephen's claim that he shot the gun in the air, the defense pointed to this tree branch, which was struck by one of the bullets. According to their ballistics expert, the angle that the bullet struck the branch indicated an upward trajectory. There were also two bullets that were shot from Stephen's gun that were never recovered. The defense believed that the missing bullets were shot in the air, and that's why investigators never found them. On the 8th day of the trial, it was time for the closing arguments. The prosecution painted Stephen as a trigger-happy vigilante that wanted to show Delta Chi who the real alpha was.
The defendant couldn't wait to shoot his gun. He was eager to. Not a second thought to stay. Not a second thought to call the police or to drive away. Because his first thought was to fire his gun. His first thought was to retaliate. His thought was to himself with a weapon and show whoever was out there who had the power. Because with that gun in his hands, ladies and gentlemen, he had the power over his lives. The defendant wanted to enact his own deranged sense of justice, not the justice we have here in this courtroom or that we swore an oath to uphold. No, he wanted to be the judge, the jury, and the executioner. And the first person who decided to confront him who dared confront him and challenge him, Colin Brew, he decided to shoot twice in the torso. There's nothing we can do now to bring Colin back. There's nothing we can do now to stop what the defendant did that night. But there's something that you can do today, right now, to find this defendant, Stephen Jones, accountable for what he did and find him guilty on all of the charges. Thank you.
The defense, on the other hand, told the jury that regardless of what led up to the shooting and the escalation that happened afterwards, lethal action was justified the moment Colin and Nick Peering charged Stephen.
Ask yourself, do you want to take a chance on letting these guys tackle you and get that gun? That's the viewpoint that you have to look at this case from. What would you do if you were standing there and these guys were charging you? You're not deciding whether it was wise for him to leave the car. He had every right to that car and walk up to that scene.
Everything's well with you.
It's not a situation he won't ever be in. But under these circumstances, with these two charging right at him, he acted reasonably. He did not have a choice. The prosecution tell you this bill of goods that he premeditated, that he was retaliating, that he's an assassin on a rampage, none of which is consistent with the fact.
So I don't necessarily think that the prosecutors is trying to say that he's some form of assassin who was gun crazy and this was just the perfect time and place to just use his weapon. What the prosecutor is trying to say that he had every avenue for it to not escalate to someone losing their life, and he took the opposite route. And I'm sorry, that is just the truth. Many, many, many opportunities. Many opportunities. He could have walked away. He could have got his friends and got in the car. He could have left the party. He didn't even have to get his gun. He could have called the cops if they were the ones who was instigating and initiating some type of rumble in front of the party. He did none of that. He went back because his ego was bruised. And he went back and he wanted to let them know that I'm the one who's in charge. I'm the one who has authority. Just like what the prosecutor said. I'm the alpha in this, BITCH. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he did. Now, whether he made the wrong mistake of doing it, yes, he made the wrong mistake. He should have had thought wiser. But he did. So, people have lost their lives. A college community is affected. Family members are affected for the rest of their life because you could not control your anger. You couldn't control your anger. It's just terrible if you really think about it. Truly terrible. Let's see. Hi, Young Riaz. How are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it. Oh, yes. Everything is going well. It's buffering. Okay, so hopefully I can fix it. Let's see. Douglas says, I think organized vigilante justice is good, especially now when the cops aren't even protecting us. I can understand the reason why you believe that. I do understand your mindset on that. People do have the right to protect themselves, and people do have the right to protect their community. It always been that, is always going to be that, right? But we have to also deal with the consequences of doing that too. If it's anything outside of what the law allows in our society, there are going to be consequences. So yes, do what you have to do, but you have to be willing to sit with the consequences. You can't now want the laws to say that what you did was justifiable because from your perspective, you was justified to do that. That's just not how it works. It doesn't work in any society that way, especially when you're going to apply the law correctly. So it is what it is. Hey, Lana, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything is well with the rest of you. Let's see. Hey, Sean, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything is well with you. Hope everything's well. Let's see. Barry said he could have locked himself in the car with the firearm and wait for the police. Right. Exactly, Barry. Exactly. So he made the decision. He made the decision. He has to sit in it. Turkey said, it's crazy how often pride is the root of some major issues. You know, pride and ego is the root to a lot of issues, more than we want to give it credit for, right? A lot of things that we do is because of our pride or our ego. And when you bruise that ego, man, oh man, oh man. The things that you think that people are not capable of doing when their ego is bruised. Definitely. Douglas said, don't mess with people and you don't have to worry about it. I agree. But that's the thing. He was messing with those individuals, right? He was at their frat party knowing that they're rivals, knowing that they're going to have a confrontation. So that's instigating the situation. Let's see. Oh, hi, Ken. You're a cop? Congratulations. Douglas says, you ever see Death Wish? I have seen Death Wish. Yes, I have. Let's see. Vigilante organized or not sounds dangerous. It could be dangerous, right? Because you have vigilantes who probably have good intentions as into why they need that type of freedom. And then you have vigilantes who have bad intentions, right? It's not even of the protection of oneself, one's community, one's family. The reason why they want to be a vigilante is because they have biases, right? Very happy to be me says, why does she say words, sentences twice? Just in case people don't catch what I say the first time, because a lot of my supporters are not American. But shout out to you, Very. Vigilante justice is a democracy. Mob rules. Bridget said, I like the last line the prosecutor used. I may have to pass that on to some of my acquaintances with. Yes, yeah, I know, because you're in the field, Bridget. Yeah, pass that on. Let them use it. Let's go on. We're going to finish up with the defense attorney's closing statements. Pretty much he's going to lean on the fact that the prosecutors didn't do due diligence to find all the bullets that will confirm that he did shoot in the air. They're also going to lead in that it was self-defense, that he had every right to fear his life. He does not necessarily know what these individuals have on them. They might not have had a gun, but they could have had a pocket knife, right? They could have had something that could have stabbed them. 3 guys or 4 guys coming at him aggressively. He could have he could have died from his wounds if they got a hold of him. He's going to lead with those situations, and that's him leaning into the jury to say, hey, if you were in that situation and 4 people was coming against you, 4 against 1, do you think that it balanced the situation now that you bring a weapon into it? And I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, most people would agree. If I'm getting attacked or jumped by a mob, me bringing a weapon to this situation is now trying to even it out, where I have a fighting chance, to get out of this situation. So that's what he's going to lean on. So let's go on.
It's frankly laughable to try and claim that Stephen is an assassin. Now, when you look at all the evidence in this case, there is no doubt whatsoever that he's innocent of all of these charges. We expect you to find the same.
They rested their case and the jury was sent to deliberate. After 5 days of thoroughly reviewing and discussing the evidence, the jury re-entered the courtroom with shocking news.
Mr. Foreperson, I have been informed that the jury has indicated that you do not feel that additional deliberations or assistance will help you in reaching a verdict. Is this correct? Correct. All right. This court is therefore going to declare a mistrial in this case.
Following this mistrial, the prosecutors vowed to try Stephen's case again, determined to get justice for Colin and the surviving victims. After several delays, his retrial was scheduled to take place in 2020, this time for a lesser charge of second-degree murder rather than first-degree murder. However, before this would happen, Stephen was offered a plea deal.
So what did I tell you guys? I said it earlier that they had some evidence that made them believe that he would get first-degree murder and that it was premeditated. It was a mistrial due to the fact that the juries didn't believe that he had any full intent to go there and unalive anybody. He probably just came there to be an instigator and, continue on with their fraternity, rumble, right? But he didn't necessarily plan to unalive the individuals that he shot. So they went to a mistrial. Now, when they bring it back, they're going to go with the proper charge that they should have charged him with before, like I stated, second-degree murder, right? And then he's now being offered a plea deal. The reason why they want to make sure that they get some form of justice for the individuals that was hurt involved in the situation, especially the one who lost his life. It makes perfect sense that it navigated down this direction. It makes perfect sense. And an aggravated assault. So that's 3 times, because those were 3 individuals. 2 kept their lives, but they were injured, and 1 lost their life. All right, so let's go. Let's see if he takes the plea deal or he stands trial for these charges.
The deal would reduce his second-degree murder charge to manslaughter, and he would only be sentenced to anywhere between 5 and 10 years in prison. Ultimately, Stephen accepted this deal, and he was booked into the Coconino County Jail. On February 11th, 2020, his sentencing hearing took place, and Cullen's mother was finally given the opportunity to express her grief to the court.
I miss him. I miss his smile. I miss his voice. I miss his infectious laugh. Some nights I wake up in a cold sweat in fear of forgetting any part of him.
She urged the judge to give Stephen the maximum possible sentence for the suffering he had caused.
Because he did cause catastrophic damage that night and a rippling effect that goes on and on.
As Stephen listened, he couldn't hold back his tears. But there was no sympathy from Nick Peering, who believed that Stephen was a danger to society.
He has proven that he's capable of taking away one life and was not afraid to take away at least 3 more.
Stephen was also given a chance to speak. He expressed remorse for his actions and accepted responsibility for Cullen's death.
If it were possible, I would, in a heartbeat right now, just trade places with Colin Brew. If he could be at home with his family, I would do that.
In the end, Stephen was sentenced to 6 years at the Red Rock Correctional Center in Eloy, Arizona, and was required to serve at least 85% of his time before he could be eligible for parole. On August 19th, 2024, after serving 4.5 years in prison, Stephen was released on parole.
Colin was a kind, beautiful, loving soul with a bright, bright, bright smile that would light up any room that he entered. I think about Colin often, and I think about that night, and it's just a horrible memory to have. It still really hurts. There's times where I have moments where I just break down and cry, or, his birthday, I break down and cry. I feel that the justice system failed in this case.
All right, so that case was it was really good. I'm glad that we actually got to see opening and closing statements. Normally, the last couple of cases that I've been reviewing didn't show the opening closing. They just show you the result of going through the case and having the interrogation. He was smart to take the plea deal. I'm not going to lie, because the simple fact is that was the best bet that he could possibly get, is to serve 5 to 6 years or even 4, and then go on and live his life and try to be a more productive individual in our society. Again, it didn't stick that he premeditated to unalive these individuals. At this point, you can say that if it was any other individuals that was a part of the opposite fraternity, he would have done the same thing. So I think that kind of registered to the jury, and that's why they had the initial mistrial. And I thought that it was smart for him, probably speaking with his lawyer, take the plea deal, don't even try to go to trial and continue on with the self-defense, because they have enough evidence to prove that it wasn't self-defense. you went to your vehicle to get the weapon and you walked back to the party to use the weapon. So it wasn't self-defense. You could have just got in your car and went home or called the cops. Either way, it's sad when individuals lose their life. It's sad when young adults lose their life or throw away their life. Unfortunately, this is a sad story because someone did lose their life. A young adult lost his life and he won't be able to graduate. His mom not going to see him get married. Mom not going to see him have children, over something that was so foolish. A fraternity that, ain't going to really even remember you after you leave that school. So it's sad. It's really sad. But prayers to everybody that's involved. And hopefully, we can stop that type of foolishness. Okay, so I have another case for you good folks. Again, please make sure you're just hitting the like button for me. I truly appreciate it. You can hit the down button. Still helps the channel. Share this out to anyone who is interested in reviewing these cases. And I appreciate all of the other individuals who have stepped in to come say hi and, probably go ahead about their Saturday. I know it's Saturday, guys. So trust me and believe. I understand, right? All right. So the next case I have for you is about a woman named Anita. So this woman named Anita, she says something that a killer or only a killer would know, right? And this has to do with the fatal shooting of her husband, Robert Klein III. This happened in Oviedo, Florida, back in 2010. So I wanted to take a look at it. These people were supposed to be separated, going through the divorce process. We'll see. This is a little touchy-feely. So let me go ahead and pull up my screen and we can go into it. Hi, William. How are you? It's good to see you. I hope everything is well with you, sir. And MVP 2.1, I seen your statement. Thank you so much for your compliment. Appreciate you. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up and hopefully let's pray to the YouTube gods and all internet gods that we have a good video going forward.
I think based on what you told me, I think based on the history that you told me between the two of you guys and the fact that he's rough and the fact that he's abusive and the fact that he's violent and the fact that you guys are separated, he came back from war, you didn't like it, you wanted to get the hell off you.
I just wanted him to get out of my house.
And he didn't, though. He didn't, Anita. And maybe the first time was accidental, and maybe he got shot, but you know what? You probably had enough of it and you shot him again.
I didn't intentionally shoot him again. I might have.
Oh, thank you, dear. Appreciate it.
911, do you please fire medical? Explain to me what happened. What is strange about it came in here to get over here. I don't want him to die. Okay. What's his name? Robert Klein.
In the early hours of May 4th, 2010, Oviedo PD responded to a frantic 911 call made by Anita Smithy, who claimed she had shot her ex-husband in self-defense. Anita was covered in deep cuts and bruises. Having just escaped her oppressor, she was rushed to the hospital. But little did anyone know, the victim in this case might actually turn out to be the murderer. Anita Smithy was a resident of Oviedo, Florida, and a mother of two from a previous marriage. She met her husband, Robert Klein, while they were both working at the same company. Robert was a former combat medic who served in Iraq during Operation Desert Storm, and a widower, raising his two children, Stephanie and Eric, on his own after the death of his first wife, Debbie, in 2003. Anita, who also had two kids from a previous marriage, leaned on Robert for support during her own divorce in 2004. Their relationship blossomed into romance, and they married in May of 2007. In the early years of their marriage, Anita was happy with Robert. He made her laugh and brought joy to her life. However, things started to get bad between them over the years. After just 3 years of marriage, they separated and were living apart for about 3 months. The romantic spark never fully faded between the two because despite their separation, they continued to sleep with each other. But no one could have ever anticipated what horror this would escalate to.
Hey, tell me exactly what happened.
My next door neighbor just came to my house. She shot her husband.
Did she say she shot her husband?
Yes, she did.
Her neighbor claimed that when she showed up at her doorstep around 2 a.m., she was sitting on the ground holding a towel to her side, which was soaked in blood. Additionally, she had
All right, let's see. It's doing the buffering thing again. I have no clue why. But so far, from what I'm hearing, that they had a toxic marriage. Within 3 years, they each other anymore. Hold on 1 second. They couldn't be with each other anymore. And it seemed like things kept on getting worse as time went by. And then I don't think it's a good idea to be continuing to mess with each other sexually either. Like it just causes problems, really. It's not a benefit. It's not a benefit at all. Hold on.
My next door neighbor just came to my house. Shot her husband.
Did she shot her husband?
Yes, she did.
her neighbor that when she showed up at her doorstep around 2 a.m., she was sitting on the ground holding a towel to her side, which was soaked in blood. Additionally, including a tooth and her lower lips and neck. She was rushed to the South Seminole Hospital, and at around 4:38 a.m., Corporal Nell reached the hospital to get her account of the night that
Hi,
ensued.
Catherine. How are you? I hope everything's going well with you.
I just drank a little bit of it and I sort of poured it out and turned around the rest of it. And you know, we started to make out stuff. So I was just kind of like, and you know, I wasn't really comfortable with that, but I just wanted to go home. I just wanted to do whatever, you know, so you just go home. Just go home. You know, start fooling around and, you know, we had sex. How that started.
It's still scratchy? It's scratchy?
Oh, I know.
Hold on. All right, I don't understand why is getting scratchy like that. I have no clue, so I apologize, guys. I apologize. Let me go ahead and refresh and see if we can get this together.
Sort of poured it out and turn around the rest of it. And you know, we started out stuff and so I was like, okay. And you know, I wasn't really cool with that, but I just wanted to go home.
Is it still buffering bad?
I wanted to be whatever, you know, just go home. Just home. You know, I just circle.
Put a 2 in the chat if it's still buffering bad. Yeah, you gotta love technology, right?
Oh, I have. I was back on and it said, you know, you need to leave. He was just laying on the bed naked. He just said,
Okay. Thank you, Lucy. All right. Okay, so let me see. Hold on 1 second. Let me pause it. All right. Yeah, guys, I don't understand why is it doing that. Not Miss Jalen saying 3. Miss Jalen, really? Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. Okay, so it's still bad. I have no clue why if it's buffering like that on your guys' end because it's not doing it on my end. So that's why it's like so weird to me because it's really playing clear on my end and I'm viewing it with you guys. So I don't understand why it's buffering and it's scratchy. I don't know. All right, so let's see. I'm gonna, Bruce said maybe start the entire live over again. Okay, so hold on. Let me refresh everything and let's see if that works. Hold on. Okay. All right. Put a 1 in the chat if you can still hear me. I refreshed, so hopefully this would definitely help. So just put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. Oh, okay, you could hear me. Okay, great. Thank you, William. Thank you. All right, let's see. I'm going to try again. Going to try again with you guys. Hopefully that helps. And my apologies, really. Sorry about that.
Started saying stuff about he doesn't want it to, it doesn't need to end, it doesn't need to, you know, and stuff like that. And then at some point, it was really dark, but at some point of the night, like he had a knife and I guess he was on top of me, but I had my clothes on. So like if he was on top of me, but I had my clothes on, but he didn't have his clothes on. And then
You say he's on top of you, was in bed or on the floor?
On the bed, he was sitting on top of me. And sort of put my pants down again. And I just told him, don't do anything stupid, because they'll know who did it. If you do something stupid, they'll know who did it. And he said, no, they won't. I'm at home with my kids. Stephanie will tell you that.
Anita claims that she went on, but the more she played along with the charade, the more Robert would say and be with her. He wanted to change her mind about the separation, but that wasn't working. That's when things got dark really quickly.
It was stupid. You know, I just trying to tell me I'm really stupid for you to do something like that. You shot me in the face and mouth. I don't. And
Great, thank you guys. Thank you. I'm glad it's
in the eye too.
Better.
I'm sure.
Not with all his words. Not all of his, but just like I think it's more to shut up. Just to shut up, stop talking.
That's how you chip your tip?
Yeah, keep it best.
Say you hit your eyes with like water.
It just once. It's like back.
So, so far from what I'm hearing about this, I'm not sure whether or not if she wanted out of the relationship or she just wanted to toy with him, right? For ego purposes. Because if you were married, things didn't work out, you got divorced after 3 years of marriage, completely understand. Sometimes it happens that way. But then y'all decided to try again, but y'all was more intimate with each other. That was like pretty much your relationship instead of trying to rekindle your marriage. It just seems like right after having sex with him, I don't know what conversation happened, you decided that you didn't want him there anymore. And he's like, hey, you know, are we going to really make this work? I want my wife back. And you're just playing like this cat and mouse situation. That's what I'm reading. I could be wrong, but I'm feeling more of a cat and mouse situation with her, that you want him to be obsessed with you, but you don't want what is required of being in a relationship or a marriage with this man. This is not to say that this man is innocent. This is not to say that this man is not controlling, abusive. We don't know that, right? And I'm only going to go off of the basis of what she's saying, that he was abusive. But it does seem like you was kind of like toiling with the situation. So now it seems like she's expressing that it got physical. The day that she wanted him to leave her house, it got physical. He was putting his hands on her, bumping her head, probably hit her. and it seems is leading down that road to domestic violence that turned into self-defense. Let's see if that's actually what it was.
And maybe like just shut up. Put that in the face. Go there. Because I think I'm playing kind of like this. Can you shut up and you pull my face down, you start having sex with me, like violent like me, like, and then you jab me up my ass and then I claw you. And you get on me. And I claw you. Then get off me. You know, like I know you like it.
This interview was 2 hours after the incident, so you can tell that she was still in shock. But from her description, we're looking at a classic self-defense case. To corroborate these claims, some of the detectives were sent to the scene of the crime while Anita was allowed to rest. Now that the detectives have gone over her story and collected evidence from the crime scene, the detectives come across a lot of inconsistencies. It's possible that she may not have properly recalled most of the events of the night due to trauma and shock, but it is some of the key things that she said which makes us question her self-defense claim. After Anita is discharged from the hospital, she appears for her third interview. By now, she has recovered from her injuries and can present her story from a clearer perspective, one that corroborates with what happened.
I know it's probably very traumatizing for you, so I'm not asking you questions to have you necessarily relive. It just kind of gives me a better picture of the events that occurred this morning and or last night.
Yeah, I was ready.
Okay.
See, that is the thing about trauma too, right? A lot of people don't want to believe that trauma really affects how your brain process things. It takes a lot of time, rehabilitation, therapy to start processing things how you used to process it before the trauma. Like sometimes you don't even realize that you're reacting or responding through trauma lenses. You really just think, oh, this is what's happened, this is what occurred to me, and this is what's going on. So I understand why they wanted to come back and interview her once, twice, 3 times, because they need for her to kind of settle in with the reality of what happened. The man that you was married to is no longer here, and you was put in a situation that you had to take his life. And now ask her, these same questions without her being riddled with anxiety, high levels of stress and trauma from this situation. So let's go on. Oh, thank you, Brucey. Thank you, sweetheart. William said, having sex after splitting from each other is not the right one. Right or not right. One party might think there's a chance resolving differences or have false hope of it. Yeah, I agree. I don't think that after you split with someone, we know that there are those cases where you can split with someone and people are meant to be and they just had a miscommunication and they want to rekindle and get back to how they was. There are cases that works, but not really. Usually when you're splitting from someone, you're splitting for them for a reason, and it's your job to remember why you split with this person on both sides, right? Why it did not work, right? Because if you think that if you don't, you're gonna let yourself get control with the hope factor and put yourself back in the same situation. So yeah, I don't necessarily think that it's a good thing. It normally doesn't even turn out well. Usually when people split and they get back together, One party gets hurt, the other one got their lick back. And then if they try to do it again, now this one is going to try to get their lick back for being initially hurt. And it just becomes a very toxic cycle going forward. Who's going to up the other one in this process, right? I think it's better to just, remove yourself from that situation and start fresh. And you don't have to look at your relationship as the most horrible, most negative thing in your life, even if it was. It shouldn't be something that controls your life. It should be something that, moves you forward, right? A learning process. Let's go on. This is the third interrogation that they're having with her. So let's hear what she has to say when she's a little bit more stable emotionally.
How long have you guys been married?
3 years.
Okay. How long did you guys live at the address on Hanging Moss?
3 years, but he's lived there much longer. That was his house before.
Okay, and you've been living at the new address on Corbin Court for the last 3 months?
Since February 1st.
What was the purpose behind you guys separating?
Back in November, things were getting kind of bad between us, hostile, and he was really getting aggressive. He wasn't doing very well at all financially, and we hadn't made a mortgage payment in a year, and it wasn't so much that we couldn't make the mortgage payment as much as he wanted us to apply for that mod program.
Okay.
And so we were trying to get in on that and do the mod, and he wasn't doing very well financially. So I think in the last year, things, because he's a financial planner and sells insurance, and economy sucks, and so he was just really having a hard time with work, and he just kept taking it out on my kids and me. And
hey Lord, how you doing?
Taking it out how so?
Happy Saturday.
If he didn't like my son said, he would say, get out of my house, and he always referred to it as my house, and every time we'd get into an argument or I didn't agree with him, he'd always say, get out of my house. And so I was just like, I was just like, and then in November, he just punches holes in walls and throws things all the time, and my ex was giving me a lot of pressure. He doesn't want my kids around that because they were telling him stories of what Robert was doing and his temper and stuff, and he was smoking a lot of weed back then, and I think he quit. Totally quit when I left. I don't know that for sure, but he was.
Did he ever become physical with you?
Yes, in November, and
Had you ever become physical with him?
I grabbed his face. I pushed him back when he pushed me. Then I put my hands up to his face and pushed him back. But other than that, I haven't been physical with him.
And how long did the physical stuff go on?
Well, it just started that in November. Really, there'd been instances where he threw things at me or he punches. His big thing really is punching walls, and he punched the shower and busted it one time. And so when he gets mad, he just punches.
It's a little early to tell, but it's clear that she's portraying herself as the victim, not just now, but for many years. And for some reason, she put up with it every single time.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Listen, this is not to say that she's not a victim. This is what we're trying to find out, right? We know that, there could have been things in her marriage that she was a victim of, right? Abuse, verbal abuse, right? Emotional abuse, financial abuse. She can totally be a victim of those things. But dealing with the fact that this man is no longer here, he was in your house, y'all was having intimacy, y'all was still dealing with each other intimately. And then for some reason you didn't want him there anymore, and he's still trying to convince you that y'all need to get back together and get your marriage back on board, and you didn't want it. You just wanted him out of your house right then and there. That led to the point where you had to unalive him, right? My thing is, and this is, like I said, we have to talk about abuse and trauma. A lot of people who are abused and they've been abused for a very long time, it's very hard for them to stop that habit, especially when they're in close proximity to their abuser. It's in the mental thing. It goes right back into how everything started. 1 minute, everything's great. The love bombing, y'all love each other. All feelings is in the air. Love is in the air. And then the next, someone says something inappropriate. Someone says something that they don't like. Someone do something they don't like. And then you see the other side of them, right? And it just keeps on going and going and going. What we have to try to find out now is what she initially stated about the husband, hitting her in her head, or pretty much, assaulting her in the house. Did that lead to her actually shooting him, or did you just decide, you know what, I'm just going to shoot him? And he was in a position of where he was actually going to leave your house and follow your wishes, but you didn't allow that. You didn't want him to just leave. You wanted him to just, be gone, period. So this is what we're trying to figure out. And I guess the more that we go along, we'll understand that. Let's see. Brucey said, "What are you drinking, detective?" My head says that the song, "If You Like Pina Colada, Get It Caught in the Rain." That's a great song. Actually, I am drinking vanilla iced tea that I just, well, not vanilla iced tea, but vanilla iced latte, but it's protein. So it's a protein vanilla. I have to get my protein in cutting season. So it is what it is. I take a lot of protein. So yeah, that's what I'm drinking before I actually eat the food that was created. Let's see. After dark is my favorite time of the day. Yeah, you know what? It's so free. I just finished cooking. My house is so hot because of it, and we're going through a heat wave, but it is what it is. I needed food, right? William said, "When it gets physical or temper issues run from the door, sad kids have to see the fighting adults." And her ex-husband is right about not wanting his kids to go through that. I agree. You shouldn't want any of your kids to deal with that or see something like that. It can warp their mind about how relationships are supposed to be, right? Especially when the respect level is gone in the relationship, where mom and dad are both being disrespectful to each other. They start to pick. You don't think they're listening. You don't think they're paying attention. You really think that they're just doing their own thing and not really caring or concerned of what's going on the other side of the wall. That is not true. They're very inquisitive. There are sponges. They are literally processing everything that they hear, everything that they see. And they will have a warped mindset of thinking, if you don't disrespect someone, then you're showing that you don't love them. If you don't put your hands on them, you're showing them that you don't care and that you don't love them. They will warp the concept of what love is supposed to show up in relationships or marriages. So yeah, I totally agree with the ex-husband about that. Stock syndrome. Let's see. Turkey said, "Why I never do reconnects. They just never work out in my." They don't. They definitely don't. Let it be a one-time experience and keep it moving. Bruce says, "Was she abusive to him? Women are abusive with their mouth." Like I said, verbal abuse, emotional abuse. He could have been suffering from that as well, right? And I guess that's why they're also asking her the questions about what have you done to him, and not to just this is not to just like blame the victim. They just have to understand her mindset as into where it got to the point where you had to pull out a gun on your husband that you was sexing with. Like that to me is like the weirdest thing. Like you was just sexing and smexing with this dude. You wanted him there, right? What happened? After the sex, did he just completely do a 360 and he just decided to put your hands on you? Like, aha, I got you. You gave me the buns. So now I'm staying in the house and I'm not leaving and nobody's going to get me out my house. Like, I don't really see that happening. I really don't. Normally, they'll put on the facade for a couple of days before they start reverting back to bad habits and bad behavior. So I'm not too sure about that. Let's see. If it didn't work the first time, it won't work. Right. Exactly. Has a person who grew up in a violent household for 100% right that stuff affects you for life? It does. It does. Whether you want to admit it or not. Sean says, and if it doesn't change the kids, thinks that's how a house should be, abusive on both ends. Right, I agree. Absolutely. It's abusive on both ends. All right, let's hear a little bit more.
Up until this incident. Notice how when she was asked about getting physical with him, she talked about her pushing him away,
true,
as if
William,
in
so
self-defense. For the next few minutes, she will talk more about this abuse and how she endured it all this time.
What led to you guys getting separated?
Well, that November issue, where he shoved me and I fell back against the bed and everything, and he punched the shower while the shower was, I just told him, that's it, I'm done. I'm calling 911. I'm not putting up with this. I'm not tolerating this physical. My kids and all the kids were crying, and I was just tired of it. Just tired of it. And so I just said, I ran downstairs to call 911, and he took my phone, he threw it across the floor, and he grabbed all the phones, and he looked at all the kids, and he looked at my son and said, if you, he said, like, if you dial 911, you're going to regret it, is what he said to my 13-year-old. And my son just looked at me, he was crying, and he's like, had tears in his eyes, and he said, Mommy, I don't know what to do. And I'm like, don't call, just don't call, just don't worry about it. And
yeah, I mean, that is very traumatic for your kids. Like, it's to the point, if that is happening in front of your children and he's abusing you in front of your children, when do you get up out of the house and leave with your kids? When do you call 911? She said that I guess he took her cell phone and threw it across the floor. Get up out the house. Get up out the house. Why are you still staying in the house? So I'm a little concerned about how she's telling the story. It doesn't really seem authentic at all. And I'm not trying to be cold-hearted, because I'm very, sympathetic to situations that individuals go through, whether they're man and woman. But it doesn't come off as authentic, really. All right. Lana says she's lying. Yeah, she is. You can tell she's lying. She said, 10 times before she said that. Yeah, I agree. And that is another way that she gives her time to state a statement that she feels is believable. Right? So she's constantly checking for validation from the detectives on what she states. That's why she says that. Let's go on.
And then at my first opportunity, I took off out the back door and went to the neighbor's house, and the police did come out, and but I didn't press charges. They have charges pending on him for not letting me call 911. I guess it's a felony or something. I don't know, it's a bad thing.
Any reason why you didn't press charges?
Because he was very upset about it, and he said he would lose his licenses because he's a insurance help. He has state licenses for insurance, and I didn't want to ruin his life. I just wanted to stop, So I said, I'm not going to press charges. I went to meet with the district attorney. I had to go to that class, and I just told him I don't want to ruin your life. I just want us to be able to live in a happy home, and then sure enough, about December, January,
hey Joanne, how are you? Shout out to New York. You're not that far from me. How are you?
Language and threats and stuff. And so I just decided my sister and her boyfriend got laid off at a factory in Indiana. Her boyfriend's about 6'4", 300 pounds, and they came down and they said, well, we're going to help you move out. He wasn't going to let me leave. He just wanted me to leave.
Remember, it was her own neighbor who said that she said
I try to give you his way, and he's not happy, and I try to set boundaries and draw lines, and that doesn't really work. But I didn't want him to lose these licenses, and he really, I just felt like it was mostly threats. Like, what can the police do? It's mostly threats, and so I thought I could handle it. I thought it was just time. I just thought time will take care of this. It'll just have to wait it out.
Oh, they did, Bruce, in the beginning.
It sounds like this wasn't the first time that Robert overstayed his welcome. She claims that it was common on every Monday for him to come over and engage in such encounters. But the question is, what was different this time? She claims that this time he got aggressive. But was this aggression worth the self-defense attempt of pulling out a gun? Well, for that, we have to assess the conditions of the attack.
Are you trying to pull away at all?
Yeah, I'm just telling him no. I'm just telling, I'm just telling him no.
You're not really getting aggressive at all.
He is getting aggressive at this point.
Okay.
He is getting aggressive at this point.
Okay.
All of a sudden, he's got this knife, and I didn't know where it came from, and I didn't know where was it in his pants? Did he have it laying on the bed? I didn't really, was it on the nightstand? I wasn't sure where this knife came from. And all of a sudden, he's really above the top, angry. And but the knife is there's a Kleenex, and he's got the knife like this with the Kleenex around it. And then he does kind of like this number here, just not cutting me, but just barely, this number right here. And then I just told him,
while he's on top of you.
Yeah. And then I told him, I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm like, if you hurt me, you're not going to get away with this. Everybody's going to know it was you. Everybody will know it was you. I don't know what you're doing. Because I felt at that moment, is he threatening to kill me? What is he doing with the knife? I don't understand what he's doing.
Did you see a knife? Okay, hold on. Let's go back a little bit. Where are you? First of all, where are you on the bed?
This woman is lying, and now her lies is starting to become very bad, and it's starting to quite be annoying to me, because you are not saying all of that if you really think your life is in danger. You just said that your children was crying and saying, "Mommy, I don't know what to do." You didn't even get your kids out the house. You didn't leave. So how did you make it up to the bedroom where supposedly he had a knife? And now he has this knife in front of you, making you making your anxiety go even more higher, because now you don't want to know what he's doing with the knife. You telling me you having a full-on conversation with someone who is who's literally holding a knife and trying to, intimidate you? You said you was already scared downstairs after he was going oops upside your head in front of your children. I just don't buy it. I mean, because if it was me, the first sign of aggression is either going to be you or me. Plain and simple. I'm going to remove myself. And if I can't remove myself, it's either going to be me or you leaving out of an ambulance. But all this whole, oh, I was so scared. My kids were scared. They were crying. They didn't know what to do. And then I woke upstairs to the room with him, and I'm concerned about his licenses. But then I'm also concerned, is he trying to threaten me? You're going to have to make up your mind. But I am giving her, some grace, because if she has been suffering with physical abuse her whole entire marriage, and then went back to sexually being involved with this man, she's probably not thinking straight. She's probably not thinking straight. She doesn't see that it was a bad idea for him getting back in her life. And it's not until he reacts negatively, then she realized this was a bad idea. But as long as he performs the way that you want him to perform, you have no problems with it. And, as a woman, we do have an issue with that, right? Because we only want things to perform exactly how we want it to perform. And we don't make that much room for when it doesn't perform the way that we want to. But when we have these type of signs where you saying that you're in danger in that way, you feel that your life is in danger. He already went oops outside your head for 3 years. Yeah, I can't really buy it. But I'm gonna still give grace though. Let's go on. Oh, hold on. I have a couple of messages, and I'm not ignoring any of you guys. Let's see. Erica, how are you? Good to see you. First time here. Thank you for stopping by. Truly appreciate you. Please tell me if I said your name correctly. I like the spelling of it. Let's see. Sean said the soil was loosening up. The soil was to loosen him up. Oh yeah, the sex was to loosen him up. Absolutely. Yes, exactly. Yes, I agree. I definitely agree. Turkey said, I just don't understand why she would invite him into her bed. If she really felt like she was in fear of her life, that's some serious contradictory stuff. Yes, and I hate to say it, you know, we do some contradictory things, you know, as women, as human beings, men and women, we all do it, right? We'll say one thing and do another, right? We'll act upon our impulses, even though, you know, if we sit with our logical mind, we can make better decisions. It happens. It's just a human error. Let's go on.
On my side, laying.
Okay,
I'm laying flat
closest to the
down, and he's
nightstand.
right here. Yeah, he's on top of me.
And he puts what you believe to be a knife
on
your neck, although you don't necessarily see it per se.
I saw something silver. I don't know what. I didn't know what
Okay,
kind
you're
of
not positive it was a knife, though.
No, but I felt him do that on my
neck. At this point, you only have one pant leg down.
Yeah, and at that point, I didn't have a pant leg down like had been trying. But then at that point, then he puts his hand up like this, and then he pulls my pant leg down because now I know he has something.
Okay, so he puts a knife to your throat. That's when he says the
Nah,
things he
Bruce,
says to
you
you.
want to go in the corner.
Yeah, and then he proceeds to have sex and with me and stuff.
Where's the knife at this point?
Yes, we do.
I guess he's still holding it up here, like.
It's not at your neck anymore.
No.
Okay, so he puts the knife to your throat. He pulls your pant leg down. He starts having sex with you, but at some point
he just does this, and then he pulls it up.
And then you don't see or feel anything after that.
No, not right, not then. But he'll come back. He comes back again the next time.
Okay, but then he starts having violent sex with you.
And I'm telling it hurts.
Okay.
You know, it really hurts.
Okay.
And you know, at that point, he turns around because, like, when we have sex, we use coconut oil, like, as a lubricant. So he turns around, and there's coconut oil on the edge of the bed. He turned around to grab it, and I could see his back. And that's when I went and I got the gun out of the side. It was in my nightstand. That is the point where I got the gun, and I put it under the pillow.
Oh, is that normally where you keep the coconut oils on the nightstand?
No, we had been having sex earlier, so it was on the bed. It was the coconut oil wasn't. It was on the foot of the bed, so.
Wait, hold on. So you're having sex with him. Apparently it's not going the way that you want. He's being a little bit too aggressive in the bedroom. You're not feeling it right now. He went to go get some lubricant, and you said when he went to go get the lubricant, that's when you saw the knife. That's when you turned around and got your gun and you put it under the pillow. So again, when did all the oops upside your head happen? When did that happen? Because you're telling me that he went oops upside your head in front of your children. You said that he was waving the knife around when you got up to the bed, but you still had sex with him. And then you said that once you saw that the knife was there, but you already knew he had a knife. You knew he had a knife. He's probably one of those guys who carries knives with them, right? Little pocket knives and stuff like that to cut things. Little switchblade, right? And you could turn it into a screwdriver when you need it. A lot of guys use those things, right? So you already knew he had a knife. So what made you, in the midst of trying to have, sexy time, and it didn't go out the way that you wanted to go, that now when he goes get the lube, you see the knife on the dresser, that you turn around and you go get the gun and you put it under your bed. Or under your pillow, I should say. Am I reading it correctly? Because that's what I'm going on the basis of the timeline of how she's talking to the detective and how she told the story and how she told all the abuse, right? If all that abuse happened prior to you having sex, Why in the world was you having sex with the man? Why weren't you and your kids out of the house if he was already acting aggressive before y'all made it to the boom boom room? That doesn't make any sense. I'm a little flabbergasted right now because they talk about they got the coconut oil, got the good stuff going on and popping. All right, I see that, but it's the whole. You know what? When she said that she put the gun under the pillow, put a one in the chat. Who saw the movie Harlem Nights with Eddie Murphy back in the 90s? Who saw that movie? And you remember there was one scene in that movie where the girl had the gun under the pillow and she was getting ready to shoot Eddie Murphy. But the only reason why he found that she had the gun under the pillow because she went to the bathroom to quote unquote freshen up. And that's how he found this. So he was able to take the bullets out. He ended up shooting her, of course, but that's what that kind of remind me. That situation where how she just ran, went to her pocket or went to her purse or wherever she has her gun and then slid it under the pillow. It reminds me of that. That was just I know that was a little outside of what we're talking about. I just had to just, get that off my chest. Let's see. Brucey said, I need a head count of all the boys who are regulars in this room. Oh, Brucey. Catherine said, it's something I have had to learn as an adult in first serious relationships because I grew up in a household where mom was superior to a fault. I understand your situation. I understand that. Let's see. Joanne said, I hate when people lie about this serious issue. It doesn't help others in actual abusive relationship. I totally agree, Joanne. I totally agree. It does a disservice, really. William says, wanted to control the situation. Why follow him when she has a chance to get away downstairs and go to the bedroom where he is while angry? If you're in fear, get out of there pronto. Save yourself and your kids. Yes, exactly, William. Yes. Lana says, this is triggering me because you don't guess they moved the knife. Right. Sean said, lady, please stop. You're making no sense. Right. I hear you, Sean. I hear you. Turkey said, haha, this is one heck of a story. It is. It really is. It really is. There's definitely some BS going on. I'm not buying it. Manahar said butter chicken or curry, chicken curry. I like both. If you was actually being real with your question. Catherine said, and how she's starting to. Right, yeah. Let's see. That's what it sounded like to me. Right. Deland said, this lady is lying and she murdered somebody. Yeah, she murdered her husband. And I don't think that I don't know if he was as aggressive or abusive as the way that she said. I don't believe that anymore. There's no way you get a gun after being raped and put it under your pillow. Right. Like in the process. Right. Exactly. Lena says she was trying to say he forced her to have with the knife. Yeah, that's what she was trying to lead towards. Like she was being coerced to have sex because the knife was in her present and she was scared that he was eventually going to do it. But why would you go through with it? Why would you go through with it? I would not have gone through with it. Like, listen, if it's at the point where I got to start defending myself, sexually and everything like that, it is what it is. That's what's going to happen. I'm not going to just sit there and allow you to rape me. And then like, what do you think was going to happen? You think that after the grape that all of a sudden they're just going to calm down and everything's going to be okay? No, it really doesn't work that way. Turkey said that gun was there before dude was even over and she was ready for him. Yeah, I think so. He said butter chicken is the best in the world. Let's see. Black Hawk Down is amazing. Black Hawk Down is amazing. Let's see. Joanne said when she repeats this story, and she has and will continue, it will change over and over again. Yes, she's definitely going to rephrase it. She's going to rephrase it. Let's see. Oh, yes, Sean. Yes, Harlem Nights. Yes, Harlem Nights. Yes. The truth is easier to remember because it's the truth. I agree. Oh, thank you, Paris. Thank you. I appreciate you for gifting me. I truly, truly appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Catherine said exactly. She's sharing so many instances she could have skedaddled. Right. Exactly. She could have skedaddled. Oh, hi, Ed Gray. Good to see you. Thank you so much. Let's go on.
So I'm laying here. He was on top of me, like here. Okay. So then what he does is, and I don't know where the knife is at this point. I don't know if it was still in his hand or not, but he reaches over. See, he reaches all the way over and grabs the coconut oil and stretches, like almost crawls over to grab the coconut oil on the other side of the bed. And then when
on the head of the bed or the foot
no,
of
the foot of the bed, he turns around, so I see his whole back.
So if he's on top of you, you would have to turn around to the left hand side and grab it.
He's like this, and he turns around like this to grab it, like this.
So you have to get to the right hand side.
And I see his back, and I see his back.
Shout out to Tanzania, a Masai boy. That's wonderful. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you.
So he turns to his or his right to or his right shoulder to grab the coconut.
See, like this.
Yeah, okay, so he turns over his right hand shoulder. You see his back.
He's on this. Yeah, he's right.
He reaches probably with his left hand or his right hand side. Either way, he turns to his right.
Anyway, all I can do is I know exactly what.
Okay, so he turns to his right. And at that point, you then turn to your left to reach to the nightstand to grab the gun.
I just grabbed it like this.
To your left.
Yeah, to my left.
Okay.
And my left hand.
Okay.
Over,
Thank you, Brucey. It's starting to skip again. I'm sorry. Thank you very much for letting me know. Thank you. Catherine said, "Ooh, the reenactments are starting to give dramatic antics. I think detective may be testing that." Yes, he is testing it, because what she just stated was it wasn't really, I guess, weird. It wasn't really like real. If he turned over to his side to get the coconut oil, you never said he went and he got the knife. You assumed that he went and got the knife. So that made you turn over to get your gun. Now, I don't know if she always keeps her gun on her nightstand or in the drawer of her nightstand. That could be a possibility. But the gun was loaded and ready to go. It was loaded and ready to go. And she did not see him actually go for the knife. And I have to keep on emphasizing this. She said earlier that he was swinging the knife, or she saw the knife when they first got into the bedroom. From that point, if you thought that he came with the knife to use it on you, why are you laying down with this man? Why? It doesn't make any sense to lay down with this man if you really thought that. So I find that weird. I'm always going to find that weird, because I don't see myself and like that's
right,
biased, right? But I don't see myself doing that. I don't see myself just someone is with weapons and I don't know why they're in my house with weapons. I'm just going to lay down and bust it wide open. It's weird. CJ said he was swinging his knife on a woman. She said that he was showing the knife, and this woman is his ex-wife. They're separated. They're still legally married, but they were smashing each other, trying to rekindle their marriage, supposedly, according to her. Miss Conti said, ooh, child. Yeah. Thanks, guys. Hopefully it's not buffering anymore. So let's see. Hopefully it's not buffering anymore.
That's correct. Okay, so he turns to his right. And at that point, you then turn to your left to reach into the nightstand to grab the gun.
I didn't really. I just grabbed it like this.
To your left, though.
Yeah, to my left. Okay. And grabbed it with my left hand, not with my right hand. And then grabbed it over and moved it underneath the pillow, and I transferred it like the pillow, put it under that pillow, and I left it under that pillow.
Okay.
I just left it there in case.
So you would transfer to the pillow that would be on your right hand side then, if you're laying on your back?
Yes.
Okay. So it's in the left hand, you reach across, you put it underneath the right hand behind you this way.
Hey, John, how are you? Shout out to Norway. How are you, sir?
I went like this, and then yeah, you're right. I did. I crossed my body.
Under the pillow.
Under the pillow.
Still with your left
not
hand?
not the side I'm laying on, but the other
Okay.
side. Right.
Okay.
So then he came back with the coconut oil and proceeded to have sex, and it was very violent. And
Did he put it on himself and then put it on you?
I think he did. Yeah, I think he did. And he was also like masturbating like himself, like when he was with me with his hand. He was also like doing it with doing himself too, like that, and like just.
This is the first time that she actually mentions him touching himself. She also talks about how they had intercourse while he had the knife. A lot of things about this encounter are becoming tough to corroborate. On top of that,
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate you. Yeah, she's getting on my nerves, guys. She's getting on my nerves, and I'm sorry. I just don't believe that. Again, if you were that afraid, let's just take her for her word. If you were that afraid that he was going to potentially use the knife on you while you was having sex, or that's what he was reaching for instead of the coconut oil, you went and you put the gun under your pillow just as a precaution. According to you, you see that he didn't grab the knife. You just confirmed he did not grab the knife. In fact, he grabbed the coconut oil. Y'all used the coconut oil and you still continue to get it popping. Now, in the process of it, you're still saying that it was very aggressive, it wasn't good, and it even was to a point where he was pretty much relieving himself because, it didn't seem like you was really into it. It's just like, you let all of that transpire and you want me to believe that you really was fearful of your life the whole entire time. You should have been fearful of your life when he was being aggressive with you in front of your kids. Right? Keep in mind, all this is playing out with children in the house. All of this. I don't buy it. It just really doesn't make sense to me. There's no way. Catherine says, yep, let a liar keep talking. Eventually, they will reveal it on all their own. Yes, absolutely. Oh, gotta get more coffee. Okay, Brucey, okay. No problem. Sean says she's getting on everyone's nerves. Yeah, she's really getting on my nerves, though, Sean. She's getting on my nerves. And now you can see that she's getting a little nervous. You could tell by her body language. She's now nervous that her story is not sticking, especially when the detective is now questioning in detail, what did you do before? What did you do after? What did you do after you put the gun under the pillow? Did he actually get the coconut oil? Did he put the coconut oil on you? Did he use the coconut oil on himself to kind of, rouse himself back up again, since you had to stop the motion when y'all was having sexy time? You went through the whole process of having sex with him, even though you said that you didn't like it. It was quite aggressive, right? So now you're looking at him like, this is not sticking. What do I need to say now that is still going to continue to place me in victim mode? So let's see what she has to say. Let's see what she has to say.
Shot to make it look like an accident.
And then I brought the gun close inside, and I told him, I've got a gun. I need you to get out. And I didn't say I need you to get out. I said get out. I said I've got a gun. Get out. He knows I have a gun anyway. He knows I got a gun. I've always had a gun. So at that point, I was like, I had no intentions of shooting him. I wasn't going to shoot him. I had no intentions. We were so close. Like, he was right there. We were so close to the point that I almost think that he might have been leaning on the gun. I don't know, but so I was holding the gun. I was holding the gun like this, and I just had no intentions of actually shooting it. I just did. And he sort of came down on it, and I did, and then and saw that he'd been shot.
Excuse me? What did she just say? Hold on. What did she just say? What was the point? So what was the point of you taking the gun out after y'all did the deed and telling him now to get out of your house? You just shot him for no apparent reason, and now you're trying to say that he knew you had a gun. He didn't know that you had the gun under the pillow. You made sure to put the gun under the pillow without him seeing it because he turned over and you turned over to put the gun under the pillow. Now you branded the gun and you're telling him that he needs to leave out of your house now. And then you still shot him. You did not explain in that moment that he went lunging after you after he saw you branded the gun on him. You purposely just shot him. And now you're trying to say that it was an accident? No, sweetheart, it wasn't no accident. That's not an accident. I don't know who told you that was an accident. Whoever told you that was an accident lied to you. They lied to you, okay? They lied, all right? That's not an accident. Hey, Mama boy, how are you? It's good to see you. Good to see you. Hope everything is well with you, dear. Hope everything is well. He asked me, how have you been keeping up with the Lori Day Valo case? No, I haven't, but you know what? I can definitely add it if it's something interesting about that case. Let me know, Bama. I can add it to the list. Brucey said, when someone is bought from your store for someone else, how do they get it? Like the corner boy cups. Oh, okay. Yeah. So if you buy, if you buy something from the store, that particular company will send it out to you. I don't get the information. I don't get none of your information. It's done within their system and it's secure. It's something that is being used by many other content creators on YouTube for secure transaction. So I don't get any of your information. They'll send it. It depends on where you where you reside, how long it takes to come in the mail. Proceed. Let's see. I've been well today, Cheesy. I hope everything is well with you. And shout out to you, coming in and supporting. I truly appreciate it. Bama said, I think it's an irritating court case. Ooh, a court case. That's deep. I like court cases because there's a lot of things going on there, and with manipulations of emotions, minds, you name it. All right, let's go on.
Wherever he.
Okay, I mean, did you pull the trigger?
Yeah, I think I did because.
Okay, so you put the gun to his.
But see, it was cocked, so it was the trigger was very tight. The trigger was very tight. I should have never cocked that gun under the pillow.
Okay. Tight meaning it would be hard to pull the trigger?
No, I mean, it was very close to pin. I mean, it's very easy.
Oh, okay, Brucey. So if you would like to buy a cup for the gents and the ladies that are our regulars in the chat, the best way that you can do it is have them provide you a PO box, right? If they don't want their personal information or you to get their personal information, they can provide a PO box in their location and go to their post office and they can pick it up from there. That's like the most secure way of getting something to another individual without forwarding your information over to them, right? For security purposes.
Pull. I mean, it just took a second and it went off because I'd already cocked it, so it wasn't like I had to pull really hard on it. It just went. I mean, it just almost that instant that he pushed back on it, it went off, and I would have never, ever, ever shot him in the heart, ever. I would have never shot him. Like, I would have never shot up that high. I would have shot down low or I would have shot at the wall, but I would.
Well, when you had the gun pointed at him, was it pointed at his heart?
No, it was just pointed at him. I mean, I just had it pointed at him.
At him in his stomach? Abdominal region?
Yeah, I was laying down and I just had it pointed at him, like this, like just pointed at him.
Up against his skin, though.
Yeah, because he was really close, and he was really close, and he came on. It felt like he came down on it.
Meaning he moved it. Okay. Meaning his body came down. Did his body position change at all, or was it just came down?
I don't know. I just know it came. I actually felt him hit the end of the barrel of the gun.
Okay. Is it fair to say that the gun might have been near his heart area, and when he came down, that's where the point of impact was?
I didn't have it pointed up at his heart.
Okay. So you don't know, somehow or another, he got shot in the heart?
I don't know he got shot in the heart, but I know I killed him, and I don't think I could shoot him in the stomach and kill him. I didn't see. I tried to roll him over, but I couldn't see where I shot him.
Okay, so the gun accidentally goes off, and he asks, okay, how do you know he got shot?
Because he said it. He actually set up, and he goes, and then he actually set up, and he said something like, you bitch, you killed me. And he said, you killed me. He said, you killed me. And at that point...
He sits up while still sitting while laying on you.
Yeah, he had been down, and he just sat up, and then he said, you killed me, and then he rolled over across the bed, and then that's when I thought, oh my God, I just started screaming. Because I was like...
She claims that he was on top of her when she shot him, after which he rolled off of her and fell to the ground. Then she got up. If someone is shooting from a lying perspective, there should be bloodstains on her, which there were, but she claims that those bloodstains are from the stab wounds, so there's a bit of a conflict here. Now at this point, it's only been 12 hours since the incident, and the detectives have asked her about this story about 3 times. It is now time for the detectives to double down on this story and start picking out the inconsistencies.
So when did she stab him as well? Because throughout this whole interrogation, I've heard about a knife. I heard that she saw a knife. Not once have she explained that he actually had the knife in his hand and he came at her in an aggressive manner. So did she stab him with his own knife? And if that's the case, when did that happen? Did that happen after you shot him? Because according to your story that he was on you and you pulled the knife, you put the gun to his chest or facing him and he pushed on it and the trigger well was so tight and it was already loaded and you just accidentally shot him and he fell after you shot him and said, you bitch, you shot me. If you shot him in the heart, he's not going to have the strength that you're saying to go get the knife and be able to attack you the way that you're trying to make these detectives believe. Not in your chest, not in your heart. That's not happening. That's really not happening. So why did you stab him? What was the point of you stabbing him afterwards? I don't know. Inquiring Minds wants to know. Inquiring Minds wants to know. Depending on where you are, you would like to get that gift. I know places like Walmart allow store pickup. I do that. Oh, okay. That's nice, Catherine. That's really nice. Here we go. The double down. Right. The double down. Brucey's, oh yeah, MJ's cups are special though. Corner boys for the boys and Miss Jalen's for the ladies. Yes, Brucey, yes. Cállate, cállate.
Do I need a lawyer?
That's totally up to you.
Well, I feel like this is getting very interrogating.
Well, here's the situation like I told you earlier.
I understand, but
right,
I don't.
She
wanna,
said that the blood was
confuse
from
something and
stab wound.
It
not
be used
gunshot
against me or whatever, and I don't have a lawyer.
Well, no. What we want you to do is to tell us the truth.
Too, Lana.
And like I said, listening to your story, I mean, this is like the third time I've heard it. And
Well, I remember a lot more than when I talk to you. I keep adding to it.
And that's normal. I understand it. But there are some things that don't quite jive, and those are the ones we got to get cleared up. Okay, I'm not saying you're lying. All I'm saying is if there's something that
well, I may not remember exactly the position or not the position or whatever that's going on. But...
Okay, well, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I mean, there's a lot of things I know you're telling the truth because you're sure of it, you're consistent with it, and it makes sense. There's certain things that aren't consistent with what you say and what we see, and they're not consistent with the way you said it.
Like what?
The main issue I have is the knife. Okay, and how you got your wounds. All right. Now,
absolutely.
I understand.
Absolutely, Bama.
I believe he was abusive towards you. I believe you were a victim of domestic violence. And I believe that
continue to act forever
you had to go
on
because
this
you were worried
channel.
that something was going to happen. That I believe. What I think perhaps is, and you didn't mean to, but you shot him. And maybe you panicked and you thought that you were going to get in trouble if because you weren't able to explain why you did it, and perhaps you self-inflicted the wound with the knife.
I didn't. I mean, his hand was on the knife too.
Well, I understand that, but first of all, the way you say the knife initially, you said you described it to me. It was a folding knife, and I think you said he brought it with him, and that you believe it was your son's, and now you're.
Well, but I'm not. I'm saying that that's the knife that was on the floor.
Okay.
He's trying to tell me, is that the exact knife? Did you see it at that time, at that moment in time? No, I didn't see it, but I saw it later laying on the floor.
I understand, but when you bring in the knife, everything you're sure of, and you consider when you bring in the fact about the knife, it's real blurry. Where the knife comes from, where it goes, how do you sustain it?
I don't really know how that all happened. I don't really know. Honestly, I don't know how that all happened.
And
well, I'm sorry about that, Marvin.
You said you shot him once now, and initially told me you believe you may have shot him the second time.
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, Marvinette. I have to stop because I have to follow the copyright situation. I have to play it for a little bit and do commentary so it can fall into fair use. And then on top of it, I do have a lot of subscribers who are not American and English is not their first language. So if you do hear me repeat myself, that's the reason why. Just so everybody understand why I do certain things that I do. So I apologize about that. Let's go on.
I don't know.
When we looked at the gun, he was shot twice.
Okay.
And there was a spent round in the middle, so you must have pulled the trigger 3 times. Once when he got shot in the chest, one didn't fire, and then the third one that hit him in the arm.
No, I didn't shoot it 3 times.
I'm just telling you, he had 2.
No, I told you I may have shot it twice because it was cocked and I shot it, and I might have shot it twice. I don't remember if I shot it twice.
Okay, there's certain things about this. Our job is to find out what happened. And the only reason for me questioning you or asking these questions is so I can paint a bigger picture of exactly what occurred, because it's important. It's important in the investigation, everything that occurred.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
There's certain things that can be
pretty
disputed. And there's certain things, because sometimes there are gray areas here and there, I can see that. But there's some things that cannot be disputed. And the one thing that cannot be disputed, for instance, is the gun. The gun never lies. And upon analysis of the gun, or the casings, the gun was fired 3 times. The trigger was pulled 3 times. There's no disputing that. That is what happened.
I didn't hear it fire 3 times.
Well, whether you heard it fire 3 times or not, the trigger was pulled 3 times. Is it fair to say that maybe in the process you pulled the trigger 3 times?
Maybe. I didn't intend to fire it 3 times because I didn't even intend to fire it twice.
Okay.
I intended to fire it once.
But can you say 100% you did in fact fire it twice though? Or pull the trigger twice?
I just heard a ring. I heard a ringing, and like I said, I think I might have fired it once or twice. I know for a fact I did not fire it 3 times. I mean, I know what you're saying is that it was fired 3 times, but
Right.
I know I didn't hear it fired 3 times, and I don't know.
Forget about you hearing it. You are the only one who had your finger on the trigger. You was the only one that was holding the weapon. So if you didn't hear it shoot 3 times, you should have felt it shoot 3 times because it was your hand on the trigger. Like, you should be honest about it, since they have already confirmed that he wasn't shot just 1 time. He was shot 3 times. You told them that you only shot him once, and he fell over off the bed and started cursing you out, saying, "Oh, you shot me, bitch, I'm gonna die." Like, arguing semantics, saying, "Well, I understand what you said, but I didn't shoot it 3 times," when you were the only one who had the gun, is foolish. It's truly foolish, and it makes you look like a liar. And I mean, you look like a liar for a lot of things that you were saying anyway, but it just makes it worse. You don't look forthcoming at all, that you're telling me that you're the person who's holding the gun and you don't know how many times you actually shot. So did you go, I don't know, did you get in a state of, I don't know, delusion where you don't even realize that you're shooting? Did you see red? Did you see black? Like, what happened when you were shooting the gun? Did you even see anything? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't even understand why she even said anything like that.
Okay.
Another inconsistency we have with your story, based on what we found, you said the coconut oil was on the bed. When we went to your house, we found it in the bathroom. How did it get there?
I thought it was on the bed.
No, it's in the bathroom. That's why I need you to. I don't care if you tell me that.
Well, maybe he went to the bathroom and grabbed it instead of rolling over on the bed. I know, like I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't know if you got up.
This woman, oh my God, shut up, woman, shut up, get a lawyer, shut up and get a lawyer, woman, shut up, okay? Like, your whole story just fell right then and there. The coconut oil wasn't even in the bedroom. The coconut oil was in the bathroom. So that means that you lied. That means that you lied and say that he reached for the coconut oil while you was having sex, but you thought he was going to reach for the knife. And that's why you reached for the gun and you put it under the pillow. Your whole story is washed up. The coconut oil for your boom boom room wasn't even in the room. It was in the bathroom. And now she's saying, "Oh, well, I really thought that." Wait a minute, but you were so confident earlier. You said you saw him get the coconut oil. You said he used the coconut oil on Him. You never said in your story that at that point he got up from the bed and went into the bathroom to get the coconut oil. Why do you think that you can change it now and say, well, I made a mistake. He might have went to the bathroom to go get the coconut oil. What are you doing, lady? Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Like, shut up. Shut up. Go get a lawyer. Go get a lawyer, because you are really like, she just let it all hang out, didn't she? She just let it all hang out with that one. Big Trizzy TV say, you know she's lying. I do. I do know she's lying. Maybe he had rubber. Not him being a part of Fantastic Four, right? Mr. Stretch. Mr. Stretch Arms, right? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Let's see. Mrs. Fantastic, Mrs. Reed, Richards. Yes, exactly, Bruce Lee, exactly. Don't know what that means. She's definitely guilty. Yeah, she's done. She's done, because now she's literally trying to change. She's just literally changing as it goes along. Once they keep on throwing out a little bit more details, now all of a sudden, well, I thought it was this, but maybe this is what he did. And you know what? That's a telltale sign to detectives to let them know that you're now reaching. You're scared, and now you're reaching any type of angle that they put out there to push the narrative that you're a victim, that you think that is going to work for you. You're going to take that angle. Like, people don't understand that detectives, they start throwing things out. They start throwing things out there, and they want to see if you're going to take the bait. So if they put a narrative out there and you think that narrative is going to work with you, they want to see if you're going to take the bait of going with that positioning, right? That's telling them that you're not being truthful. Now you're fishing. You're fishing for anything that's going to make you seem like you're the innocent party in this whole situation. Well, let's go on. Mm-mm.
Listen, Anita, all I want is the truth, okay? I'm not trying to get you in trouble.
I just shot my husband, and I don't know. You guys are trying to trip me up. Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
I told you I believe you are a victim of domestic violence.
I don't have any reason to lie to you. There's nothing I can do for myself. No. I'm not lying to you.
I believe certain things were you saying, but I need you to tell me the complete truth.
I did think that the coconut, I did think that it was, I'm sure it was, because we already used it before.
Well, I believe it, but we found it in the bathroom. Could it have been that after you shot him, you moved it to the bathroom?
No, okay, I didn't move it.
That's the thing. We're trying to find out how it got there.
But the thing is that maybe, I don't know, because I turned around to move the gun. I mean, I saw him. I thought he rolled over and grabbed the coconut oil, and I was in the process of trying to move the gun from my goal right there was moving the gun from the nightstand to the pillow. And I did that successfully.
Well, it's okay. It's important to know if he was on top of you, the coconut oil, or if he got up.
He wasn't holding me down.
I know that. But what was he on top of you and his weight was shifted to grab the coconut oil, or did he get physically off you now and leave the bed?
Well, if the coconut oil's in the bathroom, he obviously got off of me.
What? But you would know, that's what I'm trying to say.
I don't remember. I mean, that's what I thought happened. I thought that's what happened. I thought he reached, he got across me, and the coconut oil must have been at the end of the bed, and he grabbed it, because I know he was getting the coconut oil because he was wanting to have more sex. And so that's when I moved the gun. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he did get up. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he did get up.
Okay, let me then retract and say, how long was his back turned, or was he supposedly off of you to go get the coconut oil before he got back on you and you guys started having sex again?
Long enough for me to get the gun from that drawer to the back.
How long would you say?
Saw him use the coconut oil.
3 seconds? 5 seconds?
I don't know. Because if I say, then you're going to use it against me.
Nothing's being used against you at this point.
Yes, it is.
No, we're just trying to get a bigger picture. That's all we're trying to do. If you reached, grabbed the gun, and stuck it back on the pillow, and that was it, and you guys had started having sex, that's important to know.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe he did go to the bathroom. Maybe it was longer than I thought.
Did you ever get up at any point to go use the bathroom? Throughout any of this process?
Probably when I went to the shower.
Okay. Aside from when you came back from the shower.
No, I don't think so. No, I don't think I did.
Well, just to let you know, we have the crime scene investigators, and they've been processing the house all day. They're going to put everything together. It's going to show one way or the other what happened. The only two people that know what happened is you and your husband, and obviously he's not going to be able to tell us. The other way we can find out is by using the evidence. I don't want the evidence to show that you're.
Well, then I'm not talking anymore because I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you what I think happened that night. I'm telling you like step by step what I think happened.
Too late. What are you talking about? You're not talking anymore. All the lies you just spewed, and now when it didn't work, now you're like, well, I'm not talking anymore because I think you're tricking me now. Was they tricking you when you was doing all that lying and they was sitting there quietly and patiently having you express yourself and show how hurt you were and how fearful your children was, and he was aggressive from the very beginning that he came to your house before you led him up to your bedroom to have sex? Gosh, lady. Gosh, it's just so annoying, man. It's so annoying. Now you're not being right to me. Now you're not being fair to me. What was your husband can just get some baby oil? No. Sean said if he went to the bathroom, she just lay there until he got back. She didn't try to leave the bedroom. This is what I'm talking about, because you remember she started the whole thing about fearing for her life and the danger of her children, right? Who's downstairs when all this abuse that she said happened. They're still in the house when all this happened. You said that he was abusive and he went oops upside your head in front of your children, and they were hysterical. They didn't know what to do. Then you said you was going to call the cops. And then I guess he was convincing you, saying, don't call the cops. You're going to regret it. You said, all right, I'm not going to call the cops because I don't want you to lose your licenses, since he was an insurance agent. He wanted sex from you. You willingly went upstairs knowing that he wanted to have sex with you. Apparently, he forced you the whole entire time, and you tried to allude that with the knife being present, that's why. You had a gun. You put the gun under your pillow. Y'all y'all didn't want to use baby oil. Y'all use coconut oil, right? Y'all use the good stuff, the organic, raw coconut oil, right? For lubricant. You went on, had happy, sexy time. After having happy, sexy time, apparently he's still on you, or I guess he wants to go round two. And this is going off for what she said. He wants to go round two and continue to have sex. That is when you pulled out the gun and you put it to his chest. And you said, I guess he leaned into it, and for some particular reason that triggered you to shoot. Now we confirm that you didn't shoot him once, you shot him twice. You shot him 3 times. Then you told the detectives that I guess the blood stains that was on the bed didn't come from you shooting him in the chest. It came from stabbing. I'm still trying to understand, why did you have to stab him after you shot him in the chest? Because the stabbing didn't happen before. It didn't happen before the sex. It didn't happen when y'all got into the room and you said that he was branding the knife around. None of that happened. So it's just like, this lady, man, this lady, she's a very interesting individual. Very interesting. I don't know what that is. Bath. She shot her husband. Just tell the truth. Right. She's lying so much about everything. She is. And now she's getting flustered. And because she's getting flustered, she's she's scrambling. Now she's she's in defense. Oh, I don't want to talk anymore, and y'all bullying me, y'all picking me, y'all putting me in a position where everything's gonna be used against me. It's like, okay, lady, sure, whatever you say. All right, let's go on.
You know, maybe he did get up, but you know, I mean, it was very traumatic for me. It was a very traumatic situation for me, and I don't know. Maybe I'm filling in the holes because I don't remember what happened. I don't know. Maybe that's wrong for me to do that.
Well, yeah, I don't want you to make anything up because
maybe he did go to the bathroom to get the coconut oil instead of just reach across the bed. I don't remember which one it was. I remember waiting until he turned his back because I knew at that moment that I was going to move that gun.
Now the inconsistencies are coming up and her story is falling down. As much as she wants to present herself as a domestic violence victim, the evidence is bringing her into the light as a cold-blooded murderer. And now it's time for the detectives to really turn up the heat.
And the same thing with the knife situation. That's still not making sense.
He had the knife with the Kleenex at one time, and I don't know when that.
Hey,
I don't know when
shout
where
out
he
to
got
you,
it or when it
Miami
came into
Beach.
play.
Did you touch the knife at all?
How are you?
Yes, I did.
At what point?
When he had it, when he had up here, I grabbed the knife, and that's when I said I think that's when I got stabbed. Is when his hand went over the top of mine, and I had the knife.
What part of the knife were you touching the blade? Normally, when you're struggling with a knife and he's got his hand on the grip, the only thing you really have to hold on is like the blade, and so, most of the time you would have some kind of laceration on your hand.
No, I had the knife. I had the knife, and then I.
Have you ever seen the knife before?
Yeah.
I'm glad they brought up the knife situation. So apparently she was stabbed. You have no cuts on your hands if you was having a brawl of who's gonna achieve the life and he was trying to stab you, and you don't have no cuts on your hand that lets them know that you was defending yourself. You can look at her hands right now. There's no cuts on her hands. None. So if he was the one who had the knife and he's coming at you in a aggressive manner that he wants to stab you, the only thing you can possibly hold is the blade. Now she's saying that she had the knife. Again, I'm still trying to figure out, when did this happen? When did he stab you? Did he stab you after you unloaded 3 bullets in his chest? You really want me to believe that he was going after you to stab you after you hit him 3 times in the chest with a gun? You want people to really believe that? I can't believe that. I just can't. I just can't. You're literally, your breath get taken away from you after 1 shot. You shot him 3 times. Let's go on.
I have.
Okay, where have you seen it?
It's a knife that I bought at a store like back in September or November, October, something like that. That my son said he wanted it for airsoft.
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Appreciate it.
Robert and I went and looked at him, and
Hey, Mona.
I bought that one for him. But then we both decided that was way too sharp. He's only 13 years old, and that wasn't a good knife. And we already took it out of the package. We didn't take it back.
Yes.
And I don't know. I have a knife that has a black handle in my house. So
but the knife,
I'm just assuming that Robert brought it.
I'm definitely
I don't
agreeing.
know.
Well,
I
I'm
definitely
gonna ask
agree.
you again,
That's exactly
straight
what
up.
you did.
And it's a yes or no answer. Did you inflict those wounds to yourself?
I was holding the knife when it hit and when it was inflicted into me, yes. But his hand was on it too.
So, did you take this man while he's bleeding to death? Did you take this man's hand and you was holding the knife with his fingerprints also on the knife? And did you stab yourself to make it seem like he stabbed you and it was some type of tussle? Because that's what it's looking like right now. Putting all the pieces together, you shot this man, the man's bleeding out, you didn't render no aid, you didn't call 911, but apparently you had no intentions of shooting this guy, right? You just wanted him out of your house because he was being aggressive. He was being abusive. He was being abusive in front of your children to you, right? Towards you. But you still went up there. You still went upstairs and you still went up to have sex with him. Out of all of that, now you took the knife. You had his hand on the knife while he's bleeding out, losing his life, and you stab yourself so you can have his fingerprints on the knife. You didn't mind your fingerprints being on the knife because you wanted to show that it had to be a tussle. Because there is no tussle when it comes down to you shooting him 3 times in the chest. There wasn't no tussle from there. Yeah, that's sad. That's sad. Yeah. Where are the defensive wounds if he was attacking her with a knife? There are none, William. There are none. Of course she did, MJ. Made sure his prints was on that knife. Yes, it was. She probably did it when he was in the bathroom getting the lube. She stabbed herself. He continues out and shoots him. That could be a possibility, but I'm banking on she shot him. He's cursing her out, bleeding. Oh, you bitch, you shot me. Help me, call 911. I'm going to die. And she took she took the knife out or whatever knife she used, because apparently now it was only one knife. It's 2 knives and now one. One knife was a pocket knife that he had, and then another knife that just randomly just appearing into the story is a black knife that she had in the room. Just randomly just threw out another knife there, and there's DNA, there's blood all on it. This lady, man, she's a special case right there. She's really, really special. Because, quite frankly, she really do believe her bullshit.
Okay.
His hand was on my hand at the same time because we were fighting over the knife.
All right. So, but you remember that happening. That's how you got your laceration on the side.
I don't know. I don't remember it going in. I don't remember it going in, but we did wrestle. We did fight over the knife. Okay. At one point.
So this happened while this wasn't after he got shot.
No, he was dying.
I'm asking, did it happen before you shot him or after?
Before.
Just tell me straight up. Before. I just want to know the truth.
How do you know that you inflicted the wound if you didn't feel it?
Well, because I had a hold of the knife at that time.
I know, but you would say at the Corporal Janelle is that you knew that you had a hold of the knife when you got stabbed. How did you know you had a hold of the knife when you got stabbed if you did not feel the knife?
Well, I didn't feel it. I didn't know it was bleeding. I didn't know. I didn't feel the pain of the knife.
A lot of time, there's with as advanced as technology is with science and computer and recreating a crime scene and looking at we have experts that look at the wound and they're able to tell from angles.
Right, I understand that, but I don't know at what point. I don't know at what point that I got stabbed. I don't know. So what you're saying is I need a lawyer because you.
Well, that's your decision.
I've just been through the worst day of my life, and
we're just trying to get clarification. Is all we're trying to get. If there was a struggle and there was a knife present earlier in the evening or the morning, let's say, he put the knife or what you thought was a knife to your throat, you felt in fear of your safety, you grabbed the gun, and you shot him. And you might have freaked out. And you're worried about how we're going to take it. So in turn, you stab yourself. We need to know that. That's important.
I didn't stab myself by myself.
Okay. It's important to know.
She have not confirmed that this happened before the shooting or after. And the reason why she's trying not to, because she's thinking like, oh, if I said this happened before the shooting, then that means everything about me having sex and with the coconut oil situation and me getting the gun, everything that I said was a lie, and that he wasn't on top of me, and that's not the reason why I pulled out the gun. Because there's no way in hell you're going to tell me that y'all fighting with the knife earlier and he stabbed you, and then you proceeded to lay your goofy ass on the bed and have sex with him. You're not going to tell me that happened. There's no way. You're going to have sex with someone who's stabbing you, who stabbed you, and you're leaking out on the bed. Now you're going to have sex with him? And you're sitting there waiting for him? At first, it was the coconut oils on the what's the name, and that gave you enough time to go get the gun. Now it's, he probably did get up and go to the bathroom to go get the coconut oil because he wanted to have sex again. So you're telling me throughout this whole process, you're bleeding on your side of your stomach. Lady, please shut up and just go get a lawyer. You're making it worse. The more that you move your mouth, you're making it worse. Because either way, there was no reason why the knife should have been produced in this situation. Either way, not once did you call the police. Your neighbor had to call the police because you ran out and told your neighbor that you shot your husband. You didn't say that he stabbed you and he was attacking you and that's why you shot him. You went out and told her that you shot your husband. Oh, gosh. Oh, this poor lady. This poor lady.
It's just you and I now. Between you and I, it's important for me as an investigator to know what happened, because if there's inconsistencies, it doesn't look bad on anyone else but you. So if, like I said, if you freaked out and you stabbed yourself with the knife, I need to know that. It's important. It's not trying to accuse you of anything. It's not trying to put the blame on you for anything. It's just to get the truth. So something as little and as minuscule as that is important to know. Is it fair to say that that's what happened? Is it fair to say that, yes, you shot him 3 times, or you pulled the trigger 3 times, or it only...
No, I won't admit that.
Okay, is it fair to say you pulled the trigger twice?
You walked into Madden's default.
Fair to say. Is it fair to say you did freak out because you shot him? You worried about how we're going to look at it, you in turn stabbed yourself? Is that fair to say?
No, I mean, I did stab myself. I mean, I had a hold of the knife, but...
Okay. Okay, did you grab his hand and put your hand over his hand to stab yourself?
No.
Is that fair to say?
No, I didn't do that.
Okay. Is it fair to say that you didn't get stabbed while you guys were wrestling for the knife? Is it fair to at least say that?
It's fair to say that.
Okay. How did you get stabbed? I need that. I need to know the truth. Did you grab the thing and stab yourself?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I had my own hand.
Okay. At what point did you stab yourself?
I think it's when I got up and I was standing up.
Anita, it's not a thing. You know when you stab yourself. Anybody know when they inflict pain on themselves?
But I wasn't just by myself.
Okay, was there someone with you?
Yeah, Robert was there.
Okay, but Robert didn't inflict that on you.
No, I had the knife and we were wrestling for the knife and I stabbed it. I mean, I stabbed it, but he was there too.
Okay, time out.
Sweetheart, you just admitted that you stabbed yourself. He didn't stab you. And because you can't formulate your answer correctly, you keep on implying that it was a tussle. And then I guess trying to retrieve the knife, you accidentally stabbed yourself in the stomach. This lady is She's a piece of work. She's definitely a piece of work. I think after this one, I'm going to call it a wrap because she's giving me a headache. Seriously, guys.
This did not happen on the bed. I can say that.
It happened standing next to the bed.
Okay. This is after he's already been shot.
No.
Yes, it did. Anita, it did. Evidence doesn't lie. I was there. I saw everything. I know that didn't happen. I know you did not get stabbed on the bed. I know you did not get stabbed while you're wrestling for the knife. Is it fair to say that? Is it fair to say?
Yeah, it's fair to say.
Okay. So what point did you
Oh,
stab?
now she wants to tell the truth, goofy.
Yourself.
After I saw he was on the floor.
Okay. After you'd already shot him? Okay. How many times? Where did you get the knife from?
I didn't get the knife. He
Okay.
brought the knife in.
Okay. How do you know he
Or
brought?
I don't know that he brought the knife. The knife was not in my house.
Okay. Where did you find the knife at to stab yourself?
He had the knife. This is not me.
I know, but those are not from a knife. Those are from scratches or something. Those are not knife wounds. Is that fair to say too?
No, that's not fair to say. This is the knife. This was the knife. This was the knife. He had that hold of the knife.
Okay. Okay.
He had a hold of the knife.
Okay.
He may not have done that, and I'll give you that.
Where did you get the knife from? I know maybe you didn't bring it, but where did you get the knife from?
It was he had it, and he was threatening me like this with this one and
Right.
this,
Right.
and then after it was all over, I found the knife, and that's when I flipped
Oh,
it.
that's important.
And I sit down over by him.
Or not said anything at all.
I think it was on the
And
night.
let her lawyer work for her.
It was.
We're doing good. Where did you find the knife at? Did you pick it up off the bed? Did you pick it up off the
Yeah,
floor?
I picked it. I picked it up where it was laying. I don't.
Where was it laying?
I don't remember where it was laying. I just know that I freaked out and I picked up and I
And you
stabbed
stabbed. Okay, stay next to him.
Yep, she did say that.
on the other side. By that.
Paying attention to detail, Sean.
And
I see that.
Standing right there.
Anita, it didn't happen there. It did not happen there. Do not lie
Well,
to
then
me.
tell me because I don't
I'm
remember.
asking- you
I
do
don't-
know.
No,
Anita?
I was standing up. I know that.
Okay, I know you were standing up, but you didn't stab yourself by the closet. You stabbed yourself near him. Is it fair to say that?
She really needed to stop lying. You just admitted that you stabbed yourself. He didn't stab you. And this didn't happen before you made love to him. Or I'll say sex, aggressive sex. That didn't happen before. All of this happened after you shot him. And you shot him 3 times. He was no longer a threat to you. He was not getting up, getting a knife with blood pumping crazy out of his chest by being shot in the heart, trying to stab you. This ain't no damn movie. You went and you inflicted stab wounds to yourself to help build the case that it was self-defense and that your life was in danger. That is what it is. You should have been quiet from the beginning, but you couldn't because you led on the victim narrative. And you thought that that was enough by you being a woman and him being aggressive or being a man and could become aggressive. That was all you needed to tell your story and make it believable. That's why you included your kids into the story. You included the knife into the story. You don't even know where you even got the knife from. Now, all of a sudden, you don't know where you got the knife from, but you made it your business to say in the beginning of the interrogation that he was branding a knife in front of you while you went upstairs to have sexy time. You made it your business to say that you saw the knife on the dresser while he was reaching for the coconut oil, and that made you turn around to your side and get your gun that was in your drawer on your side of the bed and put it under the pillow. Now, all of a sudden, you don't even know where you got this knife from. It's so frustrating. It's frustrating. Sean said, right, MJ. She said it a few times. She wounded herself. She did. She did. She said it. Now she just all of a sudden, I don't know. I don't know. You tell me. Now it's like, you tell me, detective. Please tell me, detective, since none of my lies is working and I need to get self-defense here, right? Can you put out a narrative for me so I can say, yeah, I agree with that, and it's going to make me look like a victim? She even got a kind of little snooty and got a little attitude because of the questioning. Hey, We Unlock, how are you? I hope you're having a good Saturday, sir.
There's no need to lie now.
I'm not lying. I don't remember where I stabbed myself. I know that I freaked out and I did it. I'm admitting to you that I did it. I swear to you that I thought I would take a lie detector today and tell you that I swear that I was not standing next to him, but I was standing over on this side of the room.
Okay.
I did take the knife and throw it over next to him when I was done. I will say that.
You said you dropped the knife.
Next to him.
Okay. To do what? Why would you, if you were standing by the closet, would you stab yourself by the closet, walk over him, and then drop the knife by him?
Because I was freaking out.
Why not drop the knife by the closet?
Because he was over there.
But why drop the knife by him opposed to where you stabbed yourself?
I don't know. I wasn't thinking. I didn't plan this out. I wasn't thinking. I just panicked.
Okay.
I was like, oh my God, I shot him because.
Hi, Miss Joanne. It's so good to see you, dear. I miss you. I was waiting for you to pop in. How are you? I hope everything is well, dear sis. I hope everything is well. And how are you dealing with the heat? We're having a heat wave up here in New York, and it's terrible. It's terrible. It's literally 97 degrees. Feels like 111 because of the humidity. How is it up where you at? You know, because you're a little bit up from us. How are you? Sean says she admitted it again. Yes, she did. She admitted it again. Now she's just waiting for them to just give her something that is going to make her feel like she has a way out of this. Looking like a victim. That's what she's waiting on. That's what she's waiting on. Like, she doesn't even want to admit that you went over and stabbed yourself with the knife while he's laying there bleeding out because you wanted his DNA on the knife. You did plan this. How can you fix up your face and say that you did not plan that part? Even the other detective, he said, listen, I do believe that you was in an abusive relationship. And I know why he said that, because he can sense that she do have some type of trauma, whether if it's emotionally, we don't necessarily know if it's a physical abuse or that physical type of trauma by being in a relationship with him, but he can sense that this woman has been traumatized. But you can't fix up your face and say that you didn't plan to make it seem like this man attacked you. You did plan that part. The evidence proved that you planned that part. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Joanne said, I miss you too. It's too hot. Oh, yeah, I knew it was hot up there. I knew it was hot up there. Hey, Stop the Cap. Shout out to Texas. Shout out to Texas. Let's go on.
I was scared of him, and I have other than a few face wounds and and this right here, I have nothing to show for the fact that I shot a man. Other than the fact that I'm scared, I have nothing to show.
That was an intense 11 minutes, but now the knife situation is out in the open. She admits to stabbing herself, thinking that her self-defense claim won't hold up. And she was right. Well, she can lie about getting stabbed. Imagine what else she did to make this night look like a self-defense act when it was actually murder.
I'll agree with you because I don't remember. I thought I was over on by the nightstand, but I'm not saying I was or I wasn't. I don't know at that point. I was freaking out. I know that I was like, oh my God,
You had enough. You had enough of the shit.
Right.
You had enough of the abuse.
And I overreacted.
You had enough of his power. You shot him twice with the intention of getting him off you. You probably, after you realized that you regretted shooting him twice.
Right.
You regretted shooting him in the heart. You probably wanted to shoot him in the stomach just to get him off you. It didn't work, so you shot him again in the heart. Who the hell knows? You go around to the side and you stab yourself because you were concerned.
I'm sorry to interrupt. The nurse from the health department said she had a couple more questions she wanted to ask you.
Okay. Hello?
Thanks.
Oh, here, you can talk to me.
Thank you. Hello?
Okay. Do we have a fair assessment of what occurred? If there's anything I'm saying that's off base or that you can agree with, tell me, correct me. But from what I'm gathering is you had enough of it. You grabbed the gun, you already put the knife to your throat once before. You stayed there with the intentions of him having sex with you again and then leaving, but as soon as you didn't, and he started to get abusive again and violent, you shot him because you wanted to get him off you, and he was basically laughing in your face.
Yeah, but I didn't shoot him with the intention to kill him.
I don't doubt that. But you did intentionally shoot him to get him off you. We can agree upon that.
Not the first time.
The second time.
Yeah.
I can agree. I can say that I agree with that too. Okay, so you shot him accidentally.
The first time I didn't know I shot him in the heart.
Okay, but you had shot him. You didn't have the reaction that you wanted. You squeezed it again. Nothing happened. You're just thinking shit. So you shoot him again.
No, I don't remember that part.
Okay, but you did the second time. We can agree then. However it went down, that you shot him with the second time with the intentions of getting him off you.
Right.
And he did not have a knife or anything. We can agree upon that, right?
He didn't have a knife then.
Okay.
He did have a knife.
When you shot him, though.
No, he didn't have a knife when I shot him.
Okay. Then he rolls off the bed at some point onto the floor, right? You freak out. You find the knife laying by the nightstand or somewhere in that vicinity. Yeah. You run around to him. You're thinking, shit, the guy's about to die. I don't know what to do. And you stab yourself. And you drop the knife right there, and then that's when you call 911 and run all over the place. Is that pretty much a fair assessment of what happened?
Yeah, except I think, no, that's true. Yeah, that's true. That has to be
Okay,
true.
so that's pretty much how it went down.
On that day, Anita Smithy was booked at the Seminole County Jail in Florida for the charges of second-degree murder. She later made bail, but before that, she had bonded with an inmate, someone who had not only a similar charge against her, but a similar story, a husband killer named Kim Boone. Kim was also charged for second-degree murder of her husband, who, ironically, was also named Robert. Her case was from 2009, and she was serving a 40-year prison sentence, like Smithy. While Smithy was out on bail awaiting trial for...
So we already know how this is going to play out. The woman who's sitting in jail for 40 years for killing her husband, that is your bunkmate, and y'all sit there and y'all tell your deepest secrets, right? You tell all your skeletons in your closet to a freaking stranger in jail. And now you gave her the opportunity to find a way to lower her sentence by squealing and confirming that it should not be second degree, it should be first degree because you had all intentions of unaliving this man. We know how this played out. You could tell it's going to play out this way. I don't even have to play the rest of the video to know that this is what the video essayist is going to say, that your ass squealed because you can't keep your goddamn mouth shut. Obviously, by us seeing the interrogation, you couldn't keep your mouth shut at all. You just kept on lying and lying and lying. It was coming out so easily, and then you got flustered and started to catch attitude when it wasn't sticking. But yeah, so now you was probably going to get second degree murder. You was probably going to get 15 or 20 because they was going to think that, listen, at one point you were abusive and abused, and you know, things started to cycle back into abuse again, even though you tried to give this guy a shot. And at this time, you just couldn't take it anymore. And you didn't necessarily mean to kill him, but you really wanted him to get off you and, you know, and stop the abuse from occurring. Now, all of that is going to be whitewashed with the confirmation of the cellmate, confirming that you did this all on purpose and you kind of lucked out by it being second degree murder, even though you wish you would have got a full self-defense, but you're glad that they took into consideration that you probably did have to defend yourself. Like, what an idiot. What a freaking idiot. Sean Williams says your expression. I'm sorry, Sean. My expression is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy all the time. Joanne Jenkins said, I would have thought you would have changed it to Brucey, not Bruce Luce. Hey, I mean, that's the close enough you can get, right, Joanne? She sure was about to lie again. Yep. She planned everything. That's premeditated, I believe. Yes, that's what is going to be confirmed. I don't even have to play the rest of it, but let's go on.
For killing her husband, Robert Klein, Boone was still in state prison.
Oh, my girlfriend comes over and she goes, oh my gosh, your picture's on moshots.com. I was like, what? What I think is bad is it'll tell you that the camera is like 6 feet above you. Exactly. So of course you look evil because you're looking straight forward. Yeah. I'm like, that's not fair. Right, it's not. And I was talking to my neighbor upstairs. He went to prison, so I asked him that, like, what's prison like? He goes, are you planning on making a trip there? I'm like, I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. He said, I wasn't in imminent fear of him. After I shot him and he was gurgling and he wasn't moving, yeah. You serious? I don't want to seem like, sympathetic to him, but, come on.
In 2016, Anita Smithy's trial for second-degree murder took place. The entire courtroom, filled with her friends and family, was absolutely appalled as this monster was read her verdict.
And the defendant guilty of second-degree murder. We further find that during the commission of the offense, the defendant personally carried...
This was not an outburst from someone who lost her husband. This was the cry of a person who knew that her story didn't stick.
We further find that during the commission of the crime, the defendant actually possessed a firearm.
The charge of possession of a firearm only sealed her fate behind bars. As the courtroom was basking in this heart-wrenching moment, no one expected there to be an absolutely crazy twist. She appealed her conviction within the first 30 days to the 5th District Court of Appeal while she was in prison. The appellate court found that her initial trial was unfair due to a lot of mistakes. Firstly, there was an ineffective assistance of counsel. The court believed that Smithy's legal representation fell significantly below the constitutional guarantee of effective assistance. Secondly, and I'm assuming that you're already thinking about this, but during her police interrogation, she invoked her right to remain silent, but the detectives continued questioning her.
Do I need a lawyer?
That's totally up to you.
Well, I feel like this is getting very interrogating.
Well, here's the situation like I told you earlier.
I understand, but, I don't want to, confuse something and it, be used against me or whatever, and I don't have a lawyer.
Well, no, what we want you to do is to tell us the truth. Like I said, there's ways to find out if that's possible, but if it happened and you tell the truth now, it's better than if we able to prove otherwise, because then it's showing that you wouldn't come off it and you continue to go with that.
So what you're saying is I need a lawyer because you...
Well, that's your decision.
I've just been through the worst day of my life, and
we're just trying to get clarification. Is all we're trying to get.
The appellate court concluded that the admission of Smithy's statements about her self-inflicted wounds was, quote-unquote, devastating to her self-defense claim. The jury was left with conflicting testimonies and evidence, which ultimately impacted their decision. In 2021, after serving more than 6 years, Smithy pled no contest to second-degree murder and was subsequently sentenced to time served, which resulted in her release from prison in 2021. She was placed on 10 years probation and was required to pay restitution and costs totaling $41,000. In other words, instead of life in prison, she only spent 6.5 years of her original 40-year sentence and was released as part of a plea deal. Because of a few strategic errors by the defense and the interrogators, Anita Smithy walked free 3 years ago from a possible slam dunk case. Now she spends her days waiting for her bestie Kim Boone to be released, with hopes that they will someday reunite and bond over their crimes.
You're not going to open a detective agency when I get out? See detectives? Yeah, bounty hunters and detectives. Wouldn't it be fun? Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe. And if you think this case was horrific, well, you need to check out my video on the evil wife who...
Guys, I'm really upset. She got away with it. She got away with it. She only got 6 years for unaliving her husband and even having the phone call proof with her bestie and her cellmate that she's laughing, that she asked the neighbor about prison and how long she's going to be in prison and all the stuff like that. Having this evidence that she had no remorse, even though she tried to make it seem like she did have remorse, having the evidence that she didn't fear for her life at all through this whole situation, and for her to still be able to get out on a technicality. And I don't even think that, to me personally, that wasn't even strong enough to let her get out. The cops, she said, "Do I need a lawyer?" She didn't never confirm that I want a lawyer. When the cops was expressing, "Hey, listen, we would like to just hear your story. We want you to tell your truth, and if you don't want to tell your truth or even go through this interview process, it kind of does look like you probably withholding. We would just want to just hear what happened your side." It's still, it wasn't the coercion that judicial court should have agreed that it should kind of be thrown out. That technicality, I didn't think that it stand enough for them to throw it out, but nonetheless they did. Then she talked about legal counsel, that her legal counsel, they dropped the ball. I really don't know, because we didn't hear the actual initial statements or closing statements in the trial in this video to hear what her legal counsel said while she was on trial. I think that's pretty messed up. That's pretty messed up that she only did as much time as she did, and you could hear her laughing in the background about this whole situation. And now she's out and about living her life. A man lost his life. I'm not sure if this guy is the father of her children, but nonetheless, he's definitely was a father figure. They don't have that anymore. This is one of those cases where we see that you can even still apply the rules in the law the way that you need to, and there's ways out of it. You are now experiencing and seeing firsthand loopholes that get people who are actually guilty out of bad out of bad situations. It's funny. It's fun. It's unfortunate, really. It's sad. Really, 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 really sad. Brucey said, "Thank you for gracing us with your knowledge today. You have the best channel on YouTube. Thank you for an awesome Saturday." I appreciate you, Brucey. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's see. Sean said, "Right, MJ. Do I need a lawyer is a question, not a statement." Right. Exactly. William said, "I can't believe my ears to hear her laughing on that call and she had with the other woman." Right. It's just crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Well, guys, I'm going to take a break now. I will be back tomorrow. Y'all have me for a couple of days. I needed to take a little hiatus from work, and get some actual rest and good sleep and do some things around my house. So I will be back tomorrow with some more cases for you guys. I appreciate everyone who rocked out with me on a Saturday. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you decided to chime in with me, especially the ones who participated in the chat. You are truly appreciated. My mods, you know I truly appreciate you always. Thank you so much. Everybody who sent a super chat or a gift in the live stream, thank you so much. I truly, truly, truly appreciate you. You don't know how much that means to me. On your way out, if you haven't hit the like button, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share this out. Also, you can leave in the comment section any other cases that you will want me to review. Like I said, I love the channels that I get these cases for you guys to review. So check out Stay Awake, check out Red Thread Interrogations, check out Beyond Evil. Those are like my top 3 that I like to get cases from. They're great channels, so shout out to them. Shout out to them. And I will see you guys on the next one. And again, I appreciate you for being graceful for the technical difficulties that I was having today, where the video wasn't working. It was the sound was going in and out. It was buffering crazy. So I appreciate y'all for having the grace bestowed upon me. And also the fact that, my video quality is not the best today because I'm using my camera on my laptop and not my actual camera that I use normally. So I appreciate that as well. But until then, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much. I'll check you tomorrow, okay? Bye-bye.